We are live. Welcome to News and Nonsense at Noon. Oh gosh, I'm not plugged in. I'm Auntie AK, aka the Queer Jamfi, aka the Auntie of all aunties, and I'm here with.
I am Nana, aka the Black Fairy, aka Dark and Lovely. We didn't test out. How does my mic actually sound?
Sounds great. We've got a new mic.
Yeah, it's not too loud. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like it's a little bit too loud.
No, you sound crispy clean. It's me. I keep forgetting. Let's see if I remember today, because I will be in West London, Westfield, and get an adapter for my mic. But let's continue with the intro. Because the world is literally going to hell, we thought we'd bring you the news our way. We'll dig through all the news and nonsense out there and give you our take on it. We're here to help you separate the wheat from the chaff, the sack from the crap, what you need to know from what you don't need to know. But before we start, Nana, what do they need to do?
You guys need to book the like button now, please, on entry. Press it and share the video as well, please. Yes. And thank you.
I forgot to say, Auntie Farrah's not feeling too good, so she'll be back next week, sending well wishes and big hugs to her. And in her place, I will tell you all to comment and subscribe. Let us know in the comments what stories you want us to cover, what's caught your attention this week alongside our stories. And please, if you want to join the family, it's $1.99. No, if you want to just be a member, it's $1.99. If you want to join the family, as Auntie Farrah says it, it's $4.99. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. That is correct.
Than a bag of chips. Also, this is my disclaimer. These are opinions. We're not experts. This is the ultimate Auntie's WhatsApp group. If you want actuals and factuals, ask TLC or Google or phone a friend. Any links we share are for you to dig deeper your own damn selves. Thank you, please.
Okay, I'm dropping the link for our YouTube membership in the chat now. If anybody would like to join or would like to gift some memberships as well, that would be absolutely amazing.
That always goes down a treat. Guys, actually, okay, let me finish my mouthful. This is really bad. Who's in the chat before I start talking?
All right, let me do roll call and welcome to Facebook and Instagram. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, Yvonne was bright and early. She came in. I swear this is Yvonne's 4th time in a row. This is amazing. Ria is in the house. Sora is with us as well. Body Gang is in the house. Hang on, Ashes to Ashes is with us as well while she gets her steps in. Lady Lyrics is in the house. Cher is with us. Judy B is in the house. Aaliyah Shaw is in the house as well. Jax is in the house. Come in, come in, come in. Drop a hello in the chat as well.
Every time he says, like, well, New York's in the house. Laura's in the house. Bloody Gang's in the house. Yvonne's in it. Sorry, I could go on. What I was going to say is, guys,
Jordan Parker's in the house.
He's in the house. Everybody's in the house. Okay, so guys, I wanted to say before I had my mouth full was that it was my daughter's birthday last week. She's turned 25. So I need presents. So gift away. If you gift memberships in honor of my child being 25 years old and me having a human who's a quarter of a century old, gift away. That's the present I'd like. Thanks.
I love this. I love this. Yes, do that. Dammy J has just come in. Hey, Dammy. And we have Miss G83 in the house.
Big up ODB and Mariah Carey. All right, guys, let's get into it. We've got lots of stories to get through. I am not lined up, and I should be. So talk amongst yourselves whilst I do that. Let's go.
So the starting with our title.
Yes, we are starting with our title. Just need to get the information. So, guys, you've probably heard Virginia Giuffre is the accuser of Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein has passed away at the age of 41. She's a key figure in exposing Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's abuse network. And apparently she has passed away from suicide. Her family described her as a fierce warrior who carried the toll of abuse throughout her life. I'm going to set up, excuse me, I'll get the video up.
You know what? It may even be featured in the video, but I was seeing speculation on Reddit from like maybe friends. I don't know if it's directly her family, but that her erratic behavior had been going on for about a year. And like people were talking about MK Ultra and just that because of the level of abuse that she had gone through and those society sects. It's like they can do things with your mind, so they can trigger you from elsewhere. And so there was a whole load. There's so many different threads talking about her various different activities within a year, where it just seemed like it wasn't her. Like her character had totally changed. So who knows? Oh, Sora has given us a super chat. Thank you, Sora. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy birthday to my child. Thanks. All right, so here we go.
Of herself at the age she was groomed to service the rich and the powerful. But this girl became the woman who raised her voice to expose the world's most notorious paedophile and sex trafficker, Jeffrey Epstein, a criminal at the heart of the transatlantic elite. Jeffrey Epstein partied with presidents. His friendship with Donald Trump is what had first drawn Virginia Giuffre into his orbit. As a teenager, Giuffre worked at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. It was there she was recruited to work for Jeffrey Epstein by his accomplice, the socialite Ghislaine Maxwell. The teenager was hired as Epstein's masseuse, but Giuffre would allege that the pair trafficked her to have sex with Epstein and his associates, including a man at the apex of the establishment.
I can absolutely categorically tell you it never happened.
This shows Virginia Giuffre at 17 with Ghislaine Maxwell and Prince Andrew. Virginia Giuffre alleged that she was sex trafficked to the prince on 3 occasions in 2001. An allegation Prince Andrew has always denied as questions over his friendship with Epstein were raised.
Do I regret the fact that he has quite obviously conducted himself in a manner unbecoming? Yes.
Unbecoming? He was a sex offender.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm being polite.
A lawsuit against the prince was settled with an undisclosed payment to Virginia Giuffre. The prince made no admission of guilt, and the Metropolitan Police have turned down calls to investigate the royal. But the allegations led the man once second in line to the throne to step down from royal duties.
I was recruited at a very young age from Mar-a-Lago and entrapped in a world that I didn't understand, and I've been fighting that very world to this day, and I won't stop fighting. I will never be silenced until these people are brought to justice.
This was Virginia Giuffre speaking in 2019, 10,000 miles from where she lived and died in a reported suicide on the west coast of Australia. In the lead up to her death, she posted that she had days left to live. Her abuse had been a tragedy, but changing the climate for victims, her triumph. Virginia Giuffre died aged 41 and is survived by 3 daughters. This was the late Virginia.
Oh,
Yeah.
Man.
I don't, I mean, where do you start? Because we can talk about it being conspiracy. We can talk about what they probably possibly have done to her, but it doesn't take away that this establishment, this industry, this world that we live in, where rich men can manipulate and abuse young girls just on a whim, and then when you try so hard to fight it, you just disappear. You either lose the case, you get your reputation besmirched, or you die.
Basically, that just seems to be the trajectory of this. I mean, the fact that she was like recruited at Mar-a-Lago, and I don't even think, has Trump even had a deposition to sit down and talk about what was going on his ground? Prince Andrew also, just came to my head, has been seen with King Charles recently. Like, you know how they had like shunned him out? He was at a royal engagement. So again, it's like he's coming back. And there was speculation on that, like, why is Charles having Andrew come back? Andrew's come back. Lo and behold, who has just died? Like, this is fishy as hell. I can't see it. And even the car crash and all of that speculation that it wasn't as deep as it was, and her saying that she had kidney failure, and then it turns out that she didn't have kidney failure, like
Yeah.
she did go home and was seemingly okay. Nah, man, this is, and nobody's come out and said no, she was having a breakdown. I'm not believing this. This feels like what they do. They set people off. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how MK Ultra works, but somehow they seem to be able to tap in and get you to do some shit.
Yeah, and whenever you speculate, you sound like the crazy one. Like, imagine, yes, we can control you from remote. This MK Ultra has been long in the news, and you can't. If you start advocating and talking about it, then you're just shut down and sent off as crazy or a conspiracy theorist of the highest order. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know how we do this or how we navigate this, because this is always going to happen. And how can you, because what was her childhood that she was able to get? I remember someone of the older generation saying, well, what was she doing there? And that's what always also gets leveraged. What were you doing in the presence of older men? How could, she's a young girl. She's been in this world from a very impressionable young age, but yet people still will say, well, what's she doing? What they doing there? And then even that from the documentary that I forgot that I'd actually watched, when once you're in it and then you get brainwashed or coerced into recruiting others, and then people say, well, you were part of it, and it's just this vicious circle where there is accountability at a certain age, but then there's also, how insidious and how powerful these networks can be, and you can feel at a loss. I mean,
yeah, a lot of them were. I mean, this is the thing, because it seems like this was and it still is a real problem in Florida.
Yeah,
with especially like vulnerable young girls can work for very rich people, and then they turn into like, well, we can be benefactors to you, like so you stay around them, and that was basically what Ghislaine was doing.
Yeah.
So, and then she's kind of, because you're going to trust a woman a little bit more, and then she sets the ball rolling. So then you are now, so that you don't have to do the flipping massages and be a sex worker, you start recruiting somebody else, so then you can go up in the ranks, and then maybe she's going to pay for your education. Like it's all of that, or get you a car, or all of these things. It is and
also within that, sometimes it's like, well, we're coming from a bunch of shit. If you've been trafficked, if you're coming from a horrible gang, and it's like, let's weigh up the odds. Maybe this is not so bad. They're rich. You might fall in love with one, or one might, concubine you. So you just at least live a life of pain, and you're not doing sex work on the street, or you're not being beaten by some horrible gang, like being passed around a gang. So then even the girls that maybe get coerced into recruiting, they start saying, well, look, it's better than what we've been doing for free or for less money and getting all the disease. At least we maybe get checked out. Maybe we get, as you said, get put up in a nice place. And so that's where you start weighing up the odds and say, all right, I might as well do this. And I might as well get other girls off the street. That's my way of, I don't know. It's a lot. Let's get the comments.
I think there was definitely a few. There was one girl I remember with brown hair. I can't remember her name, but her home life was so disgusting.
Yeah.
And she was Ghislaine's like top recruiter. Because she didn't have a backup. If she leaves that world, it's like to the streets I go type of thing. And I think they actually even tried to prosecute her as well, although she was underage. Like, you could see how this is coercion. Like, she is within the fray, but it did seem like there was quite a few girls that she brought in as well. And this within this case and the amount of suicide that goes along with it, like Jeffrey Epstein, like, come on, he didn't commit suicide, but there just seems to be so many people that this takes place as well. And then even if you think of just connecting Jonathan Oddy, who had connections to Diddy, who went and shot up one of Trump's towers, and he was a sex worker as well. And it's just like there's his whole case sounds like somebody pressed a switch and dude was having a normal life. He had been paid out by Diddy. He had bought houses, and then he went mad. Yeah. Come on.
Guys, okay, we've got to go to the comments. I was trying not to notice during a serious conversation. However, you baby girls and boys are wonderful. Ashes to ashes. Thank you. Oh, my baby's gone shopping. I should tell her. Oh, thank you so much. No worries. $19.99 is absolutely fine. I love that.
It's a brilliant amount.
Thank you. And then Body Gang!
Oh,
Auntie Sade's. Yeah.
oh, thank you so much, guys. Just
guys. And we didn't put up, sorry, we didn't put it up on the screens. Sora, thank you so much for your
thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, all right, I'll get some comments. So Fire from the Sun says, hello guys, remember that Trump's first wife would go out and get girls with the Maxwell woman? Oh really? With Ghislaine? What was his first wife? That's Ivania.
Ivania, sorry, Ivania, Ivanka. Was that the daughter?
No, that's the daughter, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, gosh.
Oh, I can't remember what her name is, but it's around those ways. That is, oh Lord. Jordan Parker says her friends are correct. This didn't just happen in a bubble. She's been different on social media, charged with DV. Hubby had restraining order and was trying to keep the kids from her. Yeah, they set her off. They set her off. That is crazy. Ceylon Delon says, when the question should be, why are these older men seeking out young girls from poor backgrounds?
Why? Well, you know why? Because that easy manipulative, know people to kind of protect them. They cut them off from their family, or they're disconnected from their family. Their lives are in tatters, so they give them that golden ticket. Like, look, we can save you from this shit that you're living in. Yeah. And they remove the sense of hope as well, because people, especially when they're from those type of backgrounds, that kind of fucked up background, you're like, what? Did they even have the chance to respect their life, or even hope that they can get away from this? Like, they don't get to see that the survival story. So then these people offer them a way out, a very evil way out.
And they're dirty and perverted. There's a lot of dirty and perverted men. And they always, and then the richer they get, the more perverse, what they can pay for all of their perverse whims to actually be catered for. But, you know, there's another woman, now we're in conspiracy land, Ali, who is on the run consistently trying to dodge things, and has had, or she has a website up, and it literally says, if me or my mum come up as suicide, you know they got me. Oh. And she lives out of a car, because it's like she's exposing all the tunnels, all of the stuff, the parties, all of that. Like, when she can get to stop and talk about it, she'll do a video and go through one of the stories and how she was trafficked. Ali, her surname escapes me.
All right, I'm gonna look, and then we got another one, another gift from Yvonne. Let's do that, and I'll have a look for.
Oh my God, I didn't even see it. You got that.
Thank you. Oh, I'm gonna tell my baby girl. Oh,
yes, £25. Ali Carter, thank you. Sleep for Peace, that is her name. Ali Carter. And Destiny Love, I didn't see it. Yes, Ali Carter. I've been it's probably been a little bit over a year. I've been following her.
What's her? How do you think Ali Carter turning up a snooker person? This is
the thing. The thing with Ali's story and the various different places that you get her things from, it's like it gets posted by people within the network.
Oh,
this is her. Okay. Have you seen that before?
No.
I had.
Yes, I have.
A pimp who sold me to Russia one time. He promised me that it's weird in I mean, everything is backwards, but in trafficking, in being a prostituter, there's rankings to things. So a trafficker, a pimp, and a John are three different things. When you are one of the girls or one of the guys, you have a kind of a ranking, and being bottom bitch means being top. So when at one point you had to work for that ranking, though, if there's multiple girls or multiple boys in a pimp's possession, you have to work for that ranking. You have to work for that, basically, respect from your pimp to be able to have your pick of jobs. And it's not like you get to pick if you don't want to be hurt. It's just kind of choosing a lesser evil type of situation. So if you find that ranking, or if you have that ranking with your pimp, then you can kind of pick what jobs you want. So if there's sex machines, then you can pick kind of the least painful sex machine to have to be on for hours. So with my, I started learning that if I was nice to him, if I didn't fight as hard, if I gave up with the fighting, and if I just did what he said, then I would become bottom, which means top. He proposed to me when we were 15 years old. And his promise, with me being his wife, I was running around in very expensive diamond rings. My mom smashed so many of them. My mom now, when she found them, she smashed some in the street, and she didn't understand. I wasn't telling her everything. I was just saying, I have a 27-year-old boyfriend. I have my man, my husband is a grown man, and I was 15. So when he proposed to me, the promise was that if I said yes, and if I did what he said, then I would stay with him. And he, there was other girls that I saw with him. There were other girls that I shared him with. That sounds so ass backwards, but when you say it like that, but that was backwards to say, but it is what it is. We had this deal, and this deal was that he wouldn't, the other girls and the other boys that he had, he wouldn't just leave me. He wouldn't sell me out of country and leave me there. He made that promise, and of course, there's no promises that he kept. They were all empty and broken and lies. So when I had to go to this auction, and this man from Russia purchased me, I thought, okay, we'll just come right back. And the first time he said, you'll leave with him. He wants to have what's called a girlfriend experience, where they're able to take you home and they're able to keep you for the weekend, and have you wake up next to them, is the girlfriend experience. And when I went with this man for a weekend, it was culture shock. It was, the smells were different. The buildings were different. Everybody talked different. I didn't understand anybody. I was the only Black girl. So when it comes to Americans and when it comes to being Black, it definitely was the kicker, because they don't have any respect for you. And especially being a prostitute, they didn't have any respect at all. So some men like to have sex with you with their feet, put you on leashes, make you lick the floor or lick their feet, piss on you, shit on you, things like that. When I figured that out, I was like, I was praying, please God, let me get back to California. And I promise I will be a freaking angel for this man, because I don't want to end up staying here.
This is 9 minutes long, but just even on that alone, the fact that she's like, I want to go back. Yeah, so this is disgusting, but I still want to go back. And that just shows the conditioning that people are, and it's not just girls, young people are put into, and the way that they're like, what's the lesser evil?
Yeah,
and
yeah. She was in
my husband, when this is your abuser.
a total crazy space for her. Like her stories are still coming out. And people were saying, that's what I was trying to say, is like she doesn't have a YouTube channel because they'll be able to track her. So it's like she puts things out to a network and then they start posting her content. And from time to time on Instagram, she'll do a live, depending on where they are and if they kind of feel a little bit safe. And then she may tell another story of what happened to her. But even her mum, her birth mum, has kind of come out and has been like, no, she's lying, Ali's lying, but she's with her adopted mum, who's a white woman. I think she managed to get into her life when she was like 15, 16. And their lives have been continuously threatened. And now they're just on the run. They just live from their car, on the run, trying to get justice, trying to get some type of attorney general to take on what she's saying and look into all of the people that she remembers being around and basically being trafficked, and all of the different underground. It's so interesting when you go into her story and what is going on as well. And then you piece it together, and somebody like Epstein kind of being exposed and tried, you know that he fucked up somewhere. Like he took the piss royally with somebody else, where they're like, we're going to feed this one out there. But there's a lot of them that are at it. And Trump seems to keep on being brought up around these people, and the royals as well. It's like they all seem to, think of Charles and Jimmy Savile. It's like they all have connections to these prolific pedophiles. Yeah. But somehow we can't think that, are we stupid to think that they are not a part of this? Like, why would you have a pedophile as your best friend for Charles, and you gave him royal license and everything else? You have to have known what he was like.
Because the thing is, the way that they vet people, because me and you can't rock up to any Buckingham Palace party or anything like that. So you stringently vet people. They will know whose reputation is what. If now someone was to be a pro-Palestine supporter or a pro-extreme activist supporter, that person will not get within a sniff of anywhere close to these people. So how does someone who would have had a secret reputation that you guys would all know be coming around you? Why is that okay? Why? And the thing is, again, they're pictured with these people in our faces, and it's like it's a well-known secret. So it's kind of like flaunting the power in our face as well. Like, you know that you guys can't do anything, and if you try, we will come for you. So imagine the fact that this girl is trying to expose and tell the truth, not even expose, because that makes it even seem like something else. Try to tell the truth about the pain and hardship and disgusting abuse that she's been through, and yet she's on the run living out of her car. And the people who've been doing this to her, whether they're in politics or just rich and what it is, they're just living life comfortably, knowing that even if it gets to court, it's a very highly unlikelihood that they're going to get the right justice.
No. Or they'll just kill. I'm still surprised, like, Ghislaine is alive and is still in prison. But that must be because she is totally, like, there must be some type of a deal. Like, I'm not going to expose the names of everybody that was involved in this for some reason. I think she's holding a couple of cards, and that's why they're just, she's able to carry on in prison. And as somebody earlier on said, I think that they are going to let her out soon. I give her maybe 3 to 5 years. I think Elaine's going to come out. I think she'll have her freedom.
I wonder, because how long is she supposed to do?
I think she's in for a while. Is it 20?
Is she in for 20?
I think her sentence was like that.
Oh God, I'm wondering. Let's see, 20. Ghislaine Maxwell, how many years?
Yeah, see how many years she got. Sleepful Peace says also check out the surprise witness, who looks at some of the frameworks and power connections, also mind control via the Amanda Robb story.
Okay, so Ghislaine, Amanda Robb, I was trying to get to that as well. She's got 20 years.
20, okay, yeah, I thought it was around there.
So Amanda, surprise witness. Let's have a look. Justice was interviewed. Let's see, okay, let me see if I got, it's only 8 seconds. Oh, this is only 8 seconds. Okay, talk amongst yourselves. Let me see if I can find something.
All right, Celine Dillon says there's been rumors about Charles for years. Remember when Diana's butler was taken to court for theft, and then the Queen stepped in and stopped the trial? I don't remember that. These
Say that
people.
again. Say that again. Sorry, because I'm looking.
So Diana's butler was taken to court, and the Queen stepped in and stopped the trial.
Oh, I think okay.
I don't remember Diana's butler getting in trouble for anything. Bardigan saying, do you even think Ghislaine is even in prison or is somewhere else?
There's also that, because you know what? When they say people are in prison, that's another thing. Where are they really? Because you can do a setup. You can literally, they have the money to build a set.
Yeah.
Money to build a set, and they've got islands upon islands that we don't know about that they run. She could be living absolutely. Is this the Amanda Rabb? Is this the person? Is it Amanda Rabb?
I've not heard of this story before, guys. Is this the Amanda Rabb story? I've not.
Or is this? Oh, this one. This must be this lady. Hold on, this person. All right, let's go. Let's see.
Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Inglewood, California. I was born in Cincinnati Hospital.
Okay, so you're an LA girl.
Yep, LA.
And you grew up with both parents?
No, I didn't have a mom growing up, so it was just me and my father.
Where was mom?
I don't know, on drugs somewhere.
Was.
Yeah.
And how was life at home with dad?
It was good. I had to move to.
Wait, hold on. Sorry. Why are they interviewing her like this?
I the thing is, I shouldn't even laugh. But soft white underbelly, you come as you are. He's going to interview you.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
At least she's covered. He gets all types in there. I do absolutely love this channel. I think it really exposes a lot.
Oh wait, but hold on. Sleepful P said no, not this channel. Soft white underbelly is part of the abuse.
Are they?
Hold on.
I watch so many different types of people that he interviews that don't ever kind of get anybody else interviewing them. Why do you say that? Let us know, Sleepful Peace.
Because I don't want to give them numbers if that's what they're partaking in.
Is there somebody else that has interviewed her as well?
Produce the videos that you see on my channel, Soft White Underbelly.
Mark gets into people's stories, those living on the fringes, drug addicts, prostitutes, gang members. You've shot thousands of videos.
Is it because he does just come as you are and doesn't do any filter? Is that why?
Fire from the Sun says, yeah, he's poverty porn.
Okay. So guys, he's talking to her directly. Let me see what this video, I don't know if this video is probably going to sounds like. Hold on.
You're super prolific.
4,000 so far.
4,000.
So this is about him himself.
Everybody, and then I get murdered. And I don't want no girl close to my age doing my thoughts and video gaming me. So nah, I'm not feeling it.
Sometime in February, I was on the internet, definitely not minding my own business. And someone told me, this guy, you vaguely remember from your childhood, Bam Margera.
I'm Bam Margera.
An actor from Jackass.
And I feel like kicking my dad's ass all day today.
Is in a conservatorship.
So yeah, he's in a program. And the good thing is now is he's under a conservatorship.
And I went to the media.
The last person I've left is Dr. Phil, or else I give up.
It was unidentified callers whenever the callers were clearly identified.
I went there thinking I was going to do 30 days, but they insisted that I do 90 days.
You're not going to find anything in the media. And again, I had to go to the court document. Searched in Pinellas County, found and confirmed.
So there's this.
This is going to be on YouTube. How much drug addiction can you actually watch? It's like something, but people love those. You put up an attractive female heroin addict, that'll get a lot of views. So it's all that.
Let me just get this straight. The sun and the government will make me extra horny if I have sex with you?
Yeah.
What are you doing tonight?
I'm doing this for myself. I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm not trying to make anybody happy. Some people say, oh, I hate these Appalachian people. Stop doing that. Get back to the drug addicts. And other people say these Appalachian things are great. That's all I watch. I don't give a fuck.
I've been a photographer since I was 14. And I spent most of my career doing advertising work. So I'm basically helping wealthy corporations become even more.
So this is the guy.
Yeah, this is the guy. Yeah.
Here. And that became that I realized as I got older, that was my legacy, and I didn't feel comfortable with that. So I wanted to do something that mattered more in the world. It's not to help the addict that's outside my door, even though I've done that many times. I've spent, over the last 10 years, I've talked with about 1,000 people, and financially, I've probably spent $150,000. I've helped some addicts. That's a personal thing I do, has nothing to do with this channel. I'm just showing you what some things that are wrong with the country.
And so Lima was on Mark Laita's channel.
I give the doctors the tools to see, so if you tell me you're fine, and I look and I can see that you're not fine, addicts are master manipulators.
And I was like, well, this is strange. Why is Bam Margera's conservator on Mark Laita's channel talking about virtual reality?
We also use virtual reality so we can put patients in triggering environments.
So she talks about her company Aura, which is a digital health startup, but essentially what the startup does is uses virtual reality goggles on people with drug addiction. And I quickly discovered that Lima and Mark.
Let's get some update. What's going on here?
What are you lost at?
I'm just no, because in other words, let's pause a second. So this guy is being connected to virtual well-being madness.
So the woman, I'm jumping because I'm presuming this is where this story is going to go.
Yeah.
The woman that has been connected to this conservatorship has been on Soft White Underbelly. Yeah. Soft White Underbelly guy somehow does have a huge connection where he can get various different people in to do an interview.
Yeah.
And their stories are far and wide. And so I'm thinking the leap is going to be somehow how he is able to get these people as well is through this woman, but also this woman's technology, what they're doing is probably triggering mind control in people as well. So you have them in a virtual reality space, and then you're able to set them off to do whatever they are going to do, or keep them dependent on drugs, which keeps them fueling the same stuff.
This brings them back to MK Ultra. Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna see. Let me jump a little bit because this is a 38-minute video. Let's jump to. She's saying something here. Okay, let's go.
Let me know, guys, in the chat if I've missed anything. I am going to watch all of this stuff, though.
100%. I'm going to drop this in the chat as well.
Series of events. I began to watch them in order. My first question was, well, who is this Amanda person Lima keeps referencing? Because I had never seen Soft White Underbelly before. I didn't watch the channel. So on December 14th, 2019, the first video of Amanda appears on Soft White Underbelly. She says a number of things in that first video. First of all, she off the bat calls her father a molester and says that is the reason why she had to move out from living with her father. Now, Amanda is introduced to us as a homeless prostitute, but she explains her homelessness situation in those first appearances on Soft White Underbelly.
No, I didn't have a mom growing up, so it was just me and my father. I had to move to my mom's family's house, so I grew up with them. I just went with them. It was just a better situation.
Any problems with that?
No.
Tell me about your family. You grew up with both of your parents?
Yeah, I grew up with
what the hell?
They took me in because I lived with my dad. He turned out to be a molester, so his wife left him.
She says she used to live with her father. She says her mother is dead. She says her father was a molester, so she moved in with her aunt and uncle, and now today she could live with her father, who does have an apartment, but he's a molester. She says those things. Now, this is important because later on in this series of videos over the course of months and years, Amanda Rabb's father would make an appearance as the savior of Amanda. During one such domicile situation, he attempted to put her in a conservatorship. Amanda does come across just generally in these videos to the average viewer, most likely as crazy, unhinged, very paranoid, rambling, and perhaps unable to share a reality, right, with the person she's talking to. But I went into watching Amanda's videos with a very open mind. I wanted to hear what she had to say. And it was traumatic and painful for me to even watch the videos. So I don't even pretend to know what it must have felt like for Amanda to be in these videos. But I mean, she talked a lot about things that people would immediately write someone off for talking about. She talked about there being electronic versions of herself running around Skid Row, which sounds crazy until you see that the treatment that she would later be subjected to against her will would be, in fact, a virtual reality version of Skid Row. She would have an avatar in the world, so there would be electronic versions of her running around Skid Row.
There's different me's running around here electronic, and I want to know who is doing that. What the fuck? You need to stop. Oh my God! When I was smoking, I'm like, in the cut, and then I'm going to get murdered. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm behind the scenes, I'm annoying everybody, and then I get murdered.
So over the course of the videos, Amanda appears several times and is interviewed. She becomes kind of a repeat player on the Soft White Underbelly channel, and each time she appears to be in slightly different physical condition. Now, it does appear as though Amanda's physical condition does get worse. She loses teeth, she seems to lose weight. Mark later begins to drop clues in his videos about his intervention in Amanda's life.
I feel uncomfortable. The guy videotaping me right now is making me feel like he regrets helping me right now. So
I don't regret helping you.
How have you helped him?
I would love to help you. You're lucky to have the dad you do.
Yeah.
Your family and I, and a few other people that have known you in the past, are trying to help you.
No, they're not.
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we are.
There's different me's running around here electronic, and I want to know who is doing that. You need to stop.
He says things like he brings Amanda clothes, or he'll try to come and talk to Amanda, and Amanda admits in these videos to running away from Mark. Mark also says something along the lines of, you know, Amanda, Dad and I give you money because we know that you will do whatever you need to do and whatever it takes to get money for crack, and we don't want you to have to expose yourself to all that. So in my opinion, that is Mark Laita admittedly financially enabling a woman who he knows to be suffering with a crack addiction.
Okay, guys, hold on a second, because like I said, this is 38 minutes long. This is wild. So it's the audacity that he's fucking saying your dad, after she said that her dad's abused her, whether that's true or whatever happened there, your dad, you've got a good dad. Me and your dad are working together because we know that you'll go and get crack off in other ways, so we're helping you, we give you the money. What about fucking rehab? Why do you need her? Because there's nowhere along the line that's saying we're trying to help her, and she keeps, you know, because there's some crackheads, it's like some drug addicted people nothing helps them. But you're exposing her, you're filming her deterioration and pretending that you're helping. What a fucking, I want to swear so badly.
It's actually, oh my God. It's very Truman Show like.
It is Truman Show, but it's
and
beyond
so
that.
just within the YouTube space, you're just giving us a little window. You know, we're just one audience space, especially for the people that are avid watchers, you know, like the repeats of folks coming back and the anticipation of what state are they going to be in is very reality TV addiction type of thing. But that would be one audience that it serves. What about the people that have access to actually watching the VR games?
Exactly.
Like it's a level. Oh, it's like selling people on a block. It's the same things. It's just, I never would have thought his channel was like that. It's actually wow.
I'm going to play a bit more because it looks like a bit more explanation. But guys, tell us if you like when we want to stop. But I'm fascinated and I'm horrified.
With money in order to buy crack.
Your dad and I give you money to avoid you doing more dangerous things for your addiction that you're going to do whatever it takes to get your money for crack. So if your dad and I give you a little bit of cash.
Now, not all of Mark's subjects are repeat players. Not all of them come back. It seems to me most of them do not. Amanda came back and appeared on Mark Laita's Soft White Underbelly on March 1st, 2020.
And because I lived with my dad, he turned out to be a molester. So his wife left him.
Again for a third interview on April 15th, 2020.
Amanda.
What?
Do you see that you're kind of getting worse and worse every time we speak?
Then on May 30th, we have Lima doing another YouTube collaboration, this time with a YouTuber named 16 Leo.
This video is in collaboration with 16 Leo.
How exactly does DID happen? So is Aura a result of you trying to help out your sisters?
Yes, actually, Aura was bloomed from a desire to help my sisters, but it also exists to better treatment for all mental health illnesses.
She ain't well.
Lima would go on to make various YouTube appearances, and she would talk mostly and predominantly about Aura and her technology.
Hi, I'm Leah Abramovich, and I'm the founder of Autonomous User Rehabilitation Agent, or Aura for short.
She would use the same talking points on each one.
If we put more services, more funding behind mental health services,
kind of seemed like a PR marketing strategy to me. So she would say things like, you know, insurance doesn't cover enough days in rehab.
They go to treatment for 30 days because that's what insurance will cover. It costs about $45,000 per month for somebody to get treatment in a residential facility. It's very expensive, but the relapse rate is 90%. Insurance companies are saying, we're not going to fund 45 when you have such a high relapse rate. If she wasn't cash paying, she would have been released in 2 days from that video.
So she had the same kind of talking points over and over. And she had this virtual reality program that she was marketing to people with substance use disorder, is what she calls it. So by July, Lima already knew about Amanda and was working in concert with Amanda's father, who she called a molester, and Mark Leta, who was paying her, admittedly, knowing to go buy crack with. And they all conspired to make sure that Amanda went to jail. This is what happened. Larry Rabb called Mark Leta. Hello, Mark. Yes, Mark Leta here. Well, how can I help you? Yes, Amanda assaulted me. What do I do? Mark Leta says, oh, you should definitely call the police and get her in jail because that's the only way we're gonna be able to help her. Oh, okay, I'll do that. Thank you, Mark. Okay, cool. Let me know how it goes. Okay, bye. Okay, bye. So basically that happened. So then Larry calls 911, calls the police. Amanda gets put in jail. Now listen, do not take this as me excusing criminal activity. I do not. We have a criminal justice system for a reason, and it is based on innocence until proven guilty and fundamental principles like due process of law, being able to hire your own lawyer, not having or being coerced to testify against yourself. So for the criminal justice system, we have a system. It could be better, it could be refined and reformed, but I do believe in it. And I do think that when you commit crimes, and especially when those crimes are harming other people physically, you should have to deal in some capacity with the criminal justice system. So this assault happened in context of a lot of other moving parts, all right? And I would prefer if you just please keep an open mind, stay with me till the end of the story, because I think you might think something different at the end of it.
Oh my gosh.
So we have Lima ramping up her social media activity, right? She's doing Dissociated, huge YouTubers.
I consider myself being part of a DID system. My name is Sally. My name is Nina. My name is Jade. My name is Mara.
Hello everybody, this is Chloe. Welcome back to another video by Dissociated, and today I have Lima here with me.
Lima got Dissociated, who has 1 million subscribers, on Lima's channel as her first YouTube video ever.
Oh my God. Hi everyone. So I work in mixed reality and mental health. Today you're here to talk about it with me. Exactly. Yeah, Lima's doing some really, really exciting things that I think is really going to change the future of mental health and how we treat it, especially in inpatient therapy and speaking with doctors. You've got a lot of people on board, and I really think that what you're doing can make a big difference.
Hi everyone, welcome to my first video with Chloe from Dissociated.
16 Leo, huge YouTuber.
All right, Lima, let me ask you a few questions.
Yeah.
Can you explain dissociative identity disorder?
Dissociative identity disorder, or DID, was previously called multiple personality disorder.
She's got a YouTube channel. Her sisters also are YouTubers who Lima has taken over their social media accounts and is advertising Aura. If you go to Lima's website, meetaura.io, you will see under her press or whatever tab that she still has Amanda up and is advertising using Amanda. Amanda's dead. And also on her website, she has a whole section on a step-by-step procedural process, how you can put your family member into a conservatorship or take over their rights, just like she did to Amanda. So Step one on Ara's website, Lima's website, is conservatorship or jail. Step two is detox. Step three, I don't know. I never really stopped being flabbergasted by conservatorship or jail. So she's telling you out in the open, that her tactics involve putting someone into a conservatorship or jail. Okay. So if you watched the Bam Margera video, you might have said something like, well, how do you know Bam wasn't trying to escape court-ordered treatment? Well, how do you know he didn't choose court-ordered treatment over jail? He might have, because Lima's MO is to force somebody to choose between a conservatorship under her or jail under jail. And I guess most people don't know what a conservatorship is. Lima was telling everyone, these homes, these rehab facilities are so nice. She would go there for a vacation. It's like a luxury facility. You get to play games. Anybody would choose that over jail if that's the two options they were given. But that is not the reality, and that is not what happened. So Lima, Mark, and Larry get Amanda put in jail in Los Angeles. While she's in jail, Lima visits her and they talk about the conservatorship, getting out, whatever. August 1st, so that means after Amanda was put in jail, Lima shows up on Soft White Underbelly for the first time to talk about Ara.
Lima Yavramovich?
Yavramovich.
You have a company called Aura.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you guys do?
So we're all about data-driven healing.
She talks about starting a scholarship program.
Yes, so I'm actually starting the scholarship program. I just registered a nonprofit called the Yavramovich Institute of Behavior and Brain Sciences. Yeah, and so...
Sounds incredible.
Well, I'd love to work with you to fill in the first scholarship person from one of the people that you've interviewed. That would be awesome. We can do an update for your guests.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
They didn't think anybody was going to put the timeline together because they would later tell us, and I'll admit in the open, I have this clip, that they worked together using Lima's expertise. Lima already had the papers. Lima already had the stuff ready. They all worked together.
And I thank you, Mark, for introducing me to Lima and Ivan. What a blessing.
Yeah, and then along comes Lima.
On August 1st, Lima comes on Soft White Underbelly for the first time, saying she's going to start a scholarship program, saying the viewers are going to help her pick who's going to be the one getting the scholarship and all of that.
We'll do you want to do
Okay.
The viewers are going to help.
We had an overwhelming response.
Like.
We can save Amanda's life. She does not want to go to treatment. She doesn't want help.
The same day, while all that's going on, Mark Laita has the audacity to upload a whole nother interview with Amanda. I guess he figured like I should just do another interview with Amanda. I don't know.
Whoever
You're cuter than cute. You're so cute. I wish you could get clean and stay clean.
I just wanted to show off my new hairstyles.
Take
Michael.
off that silly wig.
And
take it off. There's a lot of people that have amazing bodies. It's called the crack diet.
Why are you making jokes?
I put a fast one on me. So, and I don't want no girl close to my age doing my thoughts and video gaming me. So
she says, among other very disturbing things, I don't want no girl close to my age doing my thoughts and video gaming me. So nah. I'm not feeling that, but I am thankful. She was already in jail when that video aired, which means she probably knew someone was going to try to video game her and do her thoughts in a virtual reality Skid Row, and she was uncomfortable with that, and she said, nah, I don't want that.
Nah, I'm not feeling it.
Okay, guys, this is very long, so I've dropped it in the chat.
Literally mind blown. Like I have to go down this, and as everybody was saying, as soon as that conservatorship pipeline came along, I was like, Wendy Williams.
Yeah.
Because the facility that Wendy is in doesn't nothing sounds like it's based on even a normal judge being like, this is where you should go. From somebody who had their own show, definitely has had a drug problem in the past, definitely could be an alcoholic, but there's alcoholics up and down this world. Like, why does that mean that you need to then be in a conservatorship? You have no control over your money. You have some people that you haven't even asked to be representing you. Like, no, it's a scam.
This is so I don't think it was a Truman Show, Matrix, all the stuff. and we're moving further and further into this AI connected world. And there's going to be these big industry tech leaders that are just going to manipulate us for bants. You've got this, and this Mark, I mean, I've seen Underbelly, but not really placed it as like, this is a channel to go and watch these type of interviews. I've seen his footage before, and I have seen Amanda before, but not taken too much notice, because also watching someone on drugs be interviewed is voyeuristic. And yes, you can get some insight into the other world. I'm not above watching these but then this is what happens. And what is the other side of it? When when you're interviewing people who've come from some sort of traumatic situation and you're having them come as they are, where is the duty of care? Is that like, even when if those of you watch the Jerry Springer reality documentary, all those things where at first it's funny, at first it's insightful, and then you get in behind the scenes, what are they doing on the Jerry Springer show? They're feeding the guests lines and giving them bits of information, making sure they get drunk and high or excited, especially those who come from small towns to come to the big city, and they gear them up and manipulate them to go nuts on screen for art titillation. This young lady, the first thing we saw in a dungle with your boobs hanging out, you're a young girl, and Mr. Mark is like, yes, I'm giving you the raw thing. And you're like, okay, yeah, sure. I'm getting some insight. Then thank fuck for BJ then for doing this, because I don't even know how many people know about this. If you guys didn't say in the chat that, Sleepful Please, you said it first, that he's a dodgy one, I wouldn't even necessarily have thought. Maybe
not at all, because the last like run of videos I watched was one of the girls who said she was at a Diddy party, and he interviewed her years before it and everything she was saying is basically what's out there about him now. But at that time, even in the comments, people are like, this girl's high, she's lying. Like, there's all the excuses till her. Then she comes back and then gives another side to the Arabian Prince that actually took her to the Diddy party, and the story carries on. But yes, there definitely is a level of I feel icky now, like actually watching his channel. It is like, oh my god, we're giving him views as an audience. This is an industry. And then you have the sharks that come along with various different types of technology to be like, we're going to help you. And I can imagine Wendy could have got in that, in terms of, rehab then becomes like a game. Like, so you get involved in this shark territory. I'm trying to get clean. And then you got the sharks coming along and being like, and try this and try that. In order for me to help you, I need to now have power over your life and your finances. So I can just mess about with you. Like, no. Lima, actually, at one point, I was like, this woman is talking like a robot. Like, it's like that somebody else has even wheeled her out. That's wild. This just look crazy. The twins?
I thought that, because I thought she was going to say that the twins were on drugs, to be fair. And I thought that they were their first experiment. Like, this crazy family, like, let's fix our family, then we roll it out to the world. It is insane. And you see with people who, when you see the people on the street that are just a little bit different, whether they're homeless, they've got bipolar or stuff, and sometimes they're talking. And sometimes when they're talking, you must listen. I know it's difficult. It's like, let me stay away from this person. When they're shouting, sometimes, because they see things people take for granted. Imagine people that live on the streets and see people. Imagine people who sleep homeless in the city of London, in the city, the actual where the money is harbored. Imagine people sleeping homeless in what they see. I would listen. So what she was saying, what Amanda was saying, like, the people messing with me and you're selling, and I don't want anyone, a girl, because she's lost control of her faculties and she has no authority over her life, but yet she's trying to speak the truth and she's trying to say it, but everyone's just be like, well, whatever you're saying, man, because you're on drugs. You're just a crackhead. You're just a crackhead. A man's making jokes saying the crackhead died. How dare you make jokes to this young girl and watching her deteriorate? I'm so.
It was her hair, like, take off that stupid. I've never heard him talk to somebody like that. Like that, just there was a level of contempt in his voice that she wasn't going along with this experiment. I mean, I am gonna finish the video, try and find some others, because I want to know how Amanda died now. Like the girl just said it, like, but she's dead now. And it's like, I want to know how Amanda died.
But she probably died of a crack overdose, or it was too much. Because at the end of the day, nothing else needs to be done to her, even if it was Lima or whatever. The fact of the matter is, these people conspired and watched her die on screen. Serena's asking, what's the difference between Ye and Wendy? They both have mental illness, but only one is under conservatorship. It depends on who's out to get you. Do you know what I mean?
It's not like they haven't tried.
Yeah.
Kanye has said this repeatedly, that they keep on trying. I don't know how he twists and turns out of this. They have locked him up. I mean, was he a personal trainer or a doctor? But the guy that actually, and he released the text messages when he does say, if you don't comply or take down these tweets, I'm gonna lock you up forever and you're not gonna see your kids. Like, have we not seen that with Wendy though? It's like they do this to people. They absolutely do. It's not like Britney wasn't locked. She was basically locked up. Like, who knows what Britney, before they put her into a conservatorship, was like, I'm not going to do, where they were like, no, you are going to do that, and we're going to lock you up as well at the same time and put you on drugs. I don't know.
I don't know. Exactly. I think Sora's saying, Serena, I thought about it too, but I fear he might soon go this route too because of what he said recently. I feel like Kim K is going to do it as a means to protect the legacy of her children. Put it this way, there is an out for there's an out for if I give Kim some grace and then she's like, look, get this man away because I'm scared for my kids. That's the steps to then people saying, well, yeah. So, but I don't know who's in control of Kanye, who's not in control of Kanye. I don't know why he so far is able to do what he's doing. And to be fair, he should be, in quotes, he should be allowed to do what he wants without people saying you need to be locked up until he does something criminal. That's the only thing. But I don't know what the difference is between him, Wendy, Britney, and stuff.
I mean, we asked because what Britney cut her hair, basically refused to do a tour. And then they just seem to be able to wind her up into a conservatorship compared to all of the rants that Kanye has done online and in public. I don't know how they haven't been able to get him. I have no idea.
But also,
who knows? Who knows?
It's like I saw someone notice my book. Yes, My Sister the Serial Killer. It's the best book. What a brilliant book. There it is. It's a really good. Someone noticed it. Yes, it's a great book. Read it. One day I'll commit to doing my readathons online.
Sure, you have a point. I think it's the fact that he spends so much time outside of the country also. That could be a factor.
It is. Do you think?
Could be. Because he flies around. At the moment he's spending lots of time in Japan. It may be
where
that they can't pin him for long enough to actually go through all of the things. I mean, once they managed to get him for bipolar at that moment in time, there's no doubt his mental health has got worse. And this seems to be the thing. It's like, just even looking at Amanda, how do you start off one way, by the fifth time we're seeing you, you're literally a whole different person. Like, you'd aged 50 years.
Gone. I don't know. Maggie's saying patriarchy is why Kanye is still walking around free. The same reason they used to ban witches. Sure, but then we had that guy from Jackass who was also in a conservatorship. I didn't know where the story was going. I jumped from his bit, but he was put in conservatorship and the same type of thing, and that's where BJ started to pull the story together. So I don't know. It's just that maybe girls and women, obviously in the music industry, are a lot more susceptible. Sure. But then in the industry at large, women are maybe easier to manipulate, but I don't think it's just a woman thing. I don't believe. I'm sure there's lots of boys and men that have been put under it as well.
Yeah, that we wouldn't even really know about as well, unless we wouldn't have known all of the details with Wendy unless Wendy managed to get her story out.
Yeah,
and if they had carried on the story of like she is and her family as well, like if they just or if your family is complicit in it. So if Wendy's niece, son, her sister and brother were all like, no, she is sick. Yeah, no, she actually does have this form of dementia, and so nobody ever got to see her again. We wouldn't know. It would just be like, oh, Wendy's got dementia now. and then they can just take all of your money. Yeah, there needs to be a look into actually the game of conservatorships, because this is just a new kind of exploitation, but it can happen in so many different ways with the interviews and the eyes on it. And
it's the fact that because then this is they remove our ability to do anything in a way, because this is happening, unfolding in front of our faces. How do I go outside and protest this mob? What do we do to get his channel taken down? Is his channel still going? Is he still okay? Is he making money? Because also all of that money that he's made from his YouTube channel, and you're flinging her what, £50 to go and get crack? You can, because even when she's saying you go into these facilities for a month and you come out and there's relapse, of course, yes, on the, like, let's say the UK version of NHS rehab, it's not going to be as extensive. But if a man is making millions and he seems like he's very well known, that alone you could put, if you really truly cared, put Amanda in a high facility where you've got the ones where the celebrities go and it's like whatever per night, and they get the real, again, even that could be dangerous, but let's say the ones that aren't nefarious can get real treatment, not put her on like a government program one. If you have the money and the incentive and the care, you can put her in a proper one where she gets proper rehab care, not tricking her to go into jail and then having her make a life or death decision.
The thing is, he said it in that interview, like, I'm not doing this for anybody, like, it's just to satisfy myself. So this is purely for money. When he said, I've interviewed thousands of people and I spent about 150K, I was like, bro, for the amount of money that has come through your channel, that's a pittance.
Yes,
that you're saying it like that's a flex. Like, no, that would suggest that you absolutely truly are exploitative, like, definitely. But I guess adding in the kind of VR experience into that, that's quite insidious. Yeah, that's
Remember when we were talking about games, and I was saying about the game Pandemonium, or I think one of my games I used to play when I was younger, and the way that used to immerse my mind. I wasn't, well, to be fair, that was the days I used to have a little bit of weed, but going to bed and just seeing that world just before I could sleep, I'd be immersed in that world. So imagine being absolutely high on a class A drug and then being put into a virtual reality, and the way that can warp your mind, then you're supposed to, and even that can counter rehab. Because how the hell are you supposed to separate reality from this mystical world and deal with rehab? So even that doesn't even make any fucking sense. I don't want to shit on possible, like, there's some real help with virtual reality. I don't even understand. Maybe we need to do a bit on what that is. Virtual reality mental health help. How does that even work? I don't know. I don't want to shit on it.
It sounds crazy, and it does sound like it can be easily exploited. Like, you know, people who are chipping themselves at this moment and will probably be in line for when Neuralink comes along. Like, you're putting yourself up to some really crazy people, and they keep on showing themselves to be very crazy and psychopathic, that they are going to have control over your neuropaths. Like, why would you ever do that? But again, as we saw in Black Mirror, it's like that can be a reality within our lifetime, that people will be like, yes, please put a chip in my brain and fuse me with AI, and not expect that when you're sitting there, somebody isn't going to use you to be an advert. That's the best case scenario, really, is that all you do is become an advert, because they could get you doing some crazy shit. You're on mute.
So even for bands, I won't even get myself hypnotized. Like, going to, like, just as a show where someone's like, okay, who wants to come up and be hypnotized? I'm not doing it for later on. You don't even know what's going to happen later on. One day, or everyone that has been just maybe at a random show and said, yeah, I'll get up and be hypnotized for bands. One day someone might go like, and all of you turn into fucking maybe mass murderers or something. You don't even know there's a document. There's a big list of people. Yes, they in Las Vegas in 1982, they came up on the magic show and they were hypnotized, and we know that person. That one day they'll have a switch and all of you lot might do something. I will never. Hypnotherapy as well. I was scared, boy. Nah, man.
Serena said, I've been encouraged to use VR in my lessons at college. This is the new teaching method.
So look, when I worked at, maybe I won't say just in case, because this is a bit of a woo-woo. When I worked at a place, we worked in research and development, and yes, 360 virtual reality as a entertainment resource where you're watching films and stuff like that. So there's that. There's the entertainment side of it. And then you know that you're in control. You put the eyes on, you take the mask off, and then you put it down and you go about your business. I don't know if there's any type of way you could be programmed. But when it's starting to be used as a tool to make it, I don't know. That's the thing. There's not enough. I don't know enough to shit on it completely. But it is like everything can be manipulated for bad, as Nana said. Yes. All right. Let's go to some other conspiracy stuff, because for those of you who are religious, Pope Francis has passed away. However, following the death of Pope Francis, bookmakers and crypto investors have rushed to predict who will be the next pontiff. So they're mixing gambling and religion. Go figure.
Of course.
So, we're gonna go through some of the Pope candidates. Who will be the next Pope after Pope Francis?
Be the next Pope? Find out the top 8 frontrunners right here. All eyes are on the Vatican as Pope Francis continues to decline in health. The 88-year-old pontiff is currently hospitalized with pneumonia in both lungs. As Catholic tradition goes, following a pope's death or resignation, a conclave is convened in the Sistine Chapel, where cardinals vote in a series of rounds to elect the next head of the church. The nail-biting process is also the plot of the award-winning 2024 film Conclave.
If you want to defeat the despots,
This is a conclave, Aldo. It's not a war.
it is a war, and you have to commit to a side.
Reports coming out of Vatican City say these 8 cardinals are the top contenders to become the most powerful Catholic in the world. Number 8, Cardinal Pietro Parolin, age 70, from Italy. The Vatican's Secretary of State is considered politically moderate and has been a favorite among odds makers. Number 7, Cardinal Fridolin Ambongo Masungu, age 65, from the Democratic Republic of Congo. The African leader made headlines when he rejected a controversial doctrine from Pope Francis, which allowed priests to bless same-sex marriages. Number 6, Cardinal Wim Eijk, age 71, from the Netherlands. The former medical doctor is seen as one of the most conservatives of the frontrunners, calling remarriages a form of adultery. Number 5, Cardinal Peter Erdo, age 72, from Hungary. Erdo has also opposed divorce and remarriage, as well as European countries accepting refugees, likening it to human trafficking. Number 4, Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, age 67, from the Philippines. Dubbed the Asian Pope Francis, Tagle is considered left-leaning politically and would be the first pope elected from Asia. Number 3, Cardinal Raymond Burke, age 76, from the United States of America. The Wisconsin native is an arch-conservative and a proponent of Latin Mass. In the 1960s, the Vatican Council began allowing Catholics to have Mass in their native languages. Number 2, Cardinal Mario Grech, age 67, from Malta. Hailing from the small island country of Malta off the coast of Sicily, Grech is considered a potential moderate successor of Pope Francis. And number 1, Cardinal Matteo Zuppi, age 69, from Italy. The Vatican insider was born in Rome and has carried out high-profile missions for Francis, including meeting with President Zelensky in Ukraine and noted Catholic President Joe Biden. As for which cardinal will be elected as the heir to St. Peter, Jesus' right-hand disciple, that's up to the conclave. Only 138 of the 253 cardinals worldwide will be able to serve as electors in the next conclave, and no cardinals over the age of 80 can participate in voting. Who will be the...
So
they're younger, aren't they? Like that was like a younger set of people.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think that I think politically at this moment in time, for the way the world is going, it would kind of make sense to have the Congolese guy actually for how politics runs and how they just want Congo under like Western control. To have a pope from there as well, it's like I just feel like it would feed into lots of people's agendas to just keep that resource going as well, to be able to mine Congo thoroughly I think if you had the Pope from the, it's, you know, I think that could extend you for another 20 years, as a leading power, I guess. I don't know. That's the only reason why I would think that they are going to allow that the black one to go through. And in these factions, that, you know, I generally support black, but when it comes to the Catholic Church, I'm literally like, I couldn't care less who it was.
I just I don't care whatever. No DEI. I don't want a black pope. I do not want an African or black pope. No.
It would never be for the benefit of any Africans in any way, shape, or form. It would be to have access to absolutely carry on pillaging Congo.
Yes.
And I can't see anything virtuous coming from the Congolese Pope getting in there. Other than that, that's what's going to happen. Philippines as well. I think it would be the same. You have you're going to be able to just mine that country and keep them under mind control, because it's like, and the Pope is from. No.
Hold on? Let me quick. I'll get to that bit. I personally think they're going to go right wing. They're going to go conservative. I mean, the fact that two of them are saying that remarriage is adultery, like, what the hell? So now, what are they going to do? Ban Catholics from remarry? The Catholics who are under so much pressure. I have to laugh at this. And those of you who have watched Conclave, it's actually a brilliant film. I did the Q&A with John Lithgow and Lucian Mismati. From it during award season last year. It's a really good film. It just gives a real nice insight into it, and also the outcome very interesting as well. But the ceremony of it is beautiful. But I think they might go conservative, because if they go woke, they'll probably go Philippine. I don't know if they go. I don't know. Or the American. I don't think they could have an American Pope.
Celine Dillon says they've always said remarriage is adultery. They don't believe in divorce. I thought Catholics didn't.
No, I knew that. It's just the fact that they're speaking it out, and that's going to be a thing. Like, I guess there's been, because Pope France has been more progressive, and there've been more and more allowances within the Catholic religion to divorce, because it's to me, it was no disrespect, but to me, it's wild that people have to be locked into something that they can't get out of it and feel religiously condemned if they do want to. Like, it's wild to me, but I think it's now for it to be in the forefront. Okay, anyway, guys, did you see that there was apparently an African man who was stopped from seeing the Pope? Stopped from seeing.
Oh yes, I saw this story in passing.
Let me so this is another thing. They don't even want you in their tin. You're coming to do candidacy. Let me see.
I mean, when I went to Rome, I can't even remember where we went. We went to some Catholic space in there, and you're only allowed the public it's where the Pope would do an address. So is that St. Peter's Square or something, somewhere anywhere in Rome? And none of the people that were guarding the space were particularly friendly at all, or they were actually quite horrible to us.
Well, there you go.
Taking pictures. It's just like they were really like fierce. Like, if we were there to worship and truly be like, oh my God, I've done a pilgrimage to this place as a Catholic, which lots of Catholics were doing, but they weren't nice in any way, shape, or form. I was like, I don't know if it was racist. I'm not sure, but it just felt like they don't like human beings. That's how it felt.
And it's so weird that, and this is like, it's like the gambling element of it. And okay, a few things people are asking in the comments. Yes, there is a Ghanaian, Peter Turkson of Ghana, who could become the first black pope. But I'm seeing a comment from KW who says they won't have a black pope because that would bring about a conversation they aren't ready for. He wouldn't be the first black pope like they will try and say. Who's the first black pope? Have I missed that?
No, I thought there was other like early days ones. I thought there was more black popes. Okay. I think when they say first, aren't they talking about specifically a country?
Mate, I don't know. I just don't know. So yes, there is a Ghanaian person in the runnings. And yes, anyway, so bringing gambling into this thing is wild. I guess for all the people who aren't religious, fine. But anyone who's religious and takes a bet on this, you go and face your God. But this, yes, an African man was apparently stopped from seeing the body of Pope Francis because, they have him lying in state before his funeral.
That was an horrible moment when a black man, I call him a black man, a dark black man, Mandingo.
Sorry.
So he came to the church. I don't know what you guys call it over there. He came to this church where the Pope, of course, people will come see the Pope for his final days because these are the normal rites before the Pope is finally buried. So this specific date is the day that people can come and just view the Pope body. This black, dark Mandingo man came there to also pay tribute, to also view, to also see the Pope. When he got to his turn, they said, you know what they told him? They said church service is not open today.
Oh.
That he should go back. Meanwhile, people are on that queue to see the Pope. You see, I'm trying to see if there's any black man among them.
That's
No
what
black
I was
man.
looking. I couldn't
They
see
were
any.
standing on that, you see the queue opposite to see the Pope. But himself was singled out from the crowd and say, oh yeah, you, come here, black, dark Mandingo. Come here. Today is not church service.
It can't be that. It can't.
You guys say, I know today is not church service. Today is the day where people can see the Pope. It's normal right. They say, no. Today is not church service. What you are only good for is to worship, is to come to church.
I need to hear this black man story.
You are no.
I need to, let's see if I can find any more.
I need to hear the black man story. I mean, it absolutely looks wild. I don't know why he's being escorted out, but listen.
But anyway, you go in there. I mean, I'd steer clear myself personally, but who am I?
Is that his name? Adam Links. He's hilarious. I'm actually gonna go and watch his channel. He's funny.
Yeah, the black man dingo.
Yes, his Gucci hat from China, for real, for real.
Oh my God. Okay, let me just quickly put this in the chat from seeing the Pope. Any comments? I don't know why.
Rima said child sacrifice survivors.
You said it, not me. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
Tihu says, I hope that's sour, because I'm presuming it's Tihu, as in you could run it together and have Tihu too, but I don't know. Tell me if I pronounced that right. Says Pope Victor, Pope Methodist, and Pope Galatius were black popes.
Okay, so there's a bunch. So then what? What is this?
Oh, was it right? Tihu.
Tehu. All right. So okay. So that's that. The Pope, and the Pope has been laid to rest. I mean, we had. I don't know if any of you watched it. I just, the funeral was streamed live. There's a little bit of this. Just
the funeral of Maria Maggiore, the first Pope to be buried outside the Vatican for more than a century. Yes. It's a place close to the Pope's heart, which he visited after every trip abroad to pray. Well, among the many global heads of state and leaders attending were Presidents Trump and Zelensky. After paying their respects, they held their first meeting since the bitter exchange at the White House in February.
And on that note, I have this as my next story. Trump has apparently done a bit of a U-turn on Putin. So now he's friends with Zelensky, and he changed his mind a little bit, I think. Let me get this up.
Has Trump been straightforward on anything?
Has he
changed his mind all the damn time?
Hazy feck, as the Irish would say.
Sidelines of the Pope's funeral, there was an opportunity for world leaders to discuss the war in Ukraine face to face. The US President Donald Trump sat down with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in St. Peter's Basilica ahead of the funeral. It is the first time the two of them have met since their very public row in the Oval Office at the end of February. A White House official said it was a very productive discussion.
This is very Italian gangster.
The president said, good meeting. We discussed a lot one-on-one, hoping for results on everything we covered, protecting lives of our people, full and unconditional ceasefire, reliable and lasting peace that will prevent another war from breaking out. Very symbolic meeting that has potential to become historic if we achieve joint results. Thank you, POTUS, he signed on. President Donald Trump this on Truth Social. I'm just trying to clean up the mess that was left to me by Obama and Biden, and what a mess it is. With all of that being said, there was no reason for Putin to be shooting missiles into civilian areas, cities and towns over the last few days. It makes me think that maybe he doesn't want to stop the war. He is just tapping me along and has to be dealt with differently through banking or secondary sanctions. Too many people are dying, he ends with 3 exclamation marks.
These people are just wild.
Just playing.
Actually messing about with folks' lives.
Yeah. Stupidness. So, yeah. What else did he say? He said he's acknowledged publicly that Russia stole Crimea, a rare admission, but then said earlier that Crimea will stay with Russia. He just talks for talking sake. Just talks for talking sake and then switches his mind and pulls everybody along. It's nonsense.
They're all at it together. Like, this is all complicit. I just feel sorry for the innocent people that are just trying to get through their flipping days, and they have these people playing chess with their lives. Like, no one can tell me any different. Trump is a Russian agent. Like, he literally is. Like, everything he's doing to destroy America, that is your enemy's work. Like, that doesn't actually make any sense. It's like, well, let's see where America is after Trump's, if he even goes. Apparently he has his 2028 hats on sale on his website. So
shut up. No.
Yeah, have a look. You may actually be able to see it. I saw a little reel on it a couple of days ago, and it's like he truly may not go. And I wouldn't be surprised. It was actually, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the world that comes along in 2028, that Trump is like, absolutely not am I leaving. Or there is enough people in America that are like, we absolutely do want him for a 3rd term, and go along with it. And so it happens. That wouldn't surprise me. I'd probably be even more surprised if he leaves without an absolute insurrection again. Like, I was saving this to the end because I think my newfound is all the people that voted for Trump and who are now regretting it. So I'll go to one of my videos that I had, because this guy, he's a beekeeper, and he's really, really sad that he voted for Trump. Let me get this up. So he's very, very upset with himself. Karima, I mean, that could be what starts the American Revolution.
Secret Garden Bees, a honey farm in Linden, North Carolina, farmer Jim Hartman has one eye on his bees and the other on his bank account.
Ideally, we'll get 100 pounds of honey per hive per year.
How do you feel about paying more for things?
Well, if you find someone who says, I'm happy about paying more for something, you point them out to me. People who already couldn't afford fresh vegetables, who couldn't already afford to put good food on their plate, are the ones that are really going to be hurt by this.
Did you ever think, when you voted for President Trump, that things were going to cost you more and you were going to lose money?
I never thought I was going to lose this much money, this fast.
Jim is a Republican who voted for Donald Trump 3 times.
How do you feel about your vote for Donald Trump now?
Well, I feel like perhaps I should have considered some other options.
Among other things, Jim imports packaging supplies for his honey, so he's paying real close attention to the tariffs Trump just put in place.
We just bought our year's supply of bottles from Taiwan and our year's supply of corks from Portugal about 3 weeks ago. So that would have been, another 5,000 or 6,000 out of my pocket.
which is partly why he's repairing instead of replacing this 40-year-old forklift.
The cost of equipment has just gone through the roof to buy anything like that because it just would be cost prohibitive.
He's also holding off on improvements around the farm.
Well, we're not going to hire any more people, that's for sure.
It's more than just the tariffs. For the past 2 years, Jim has been selling honey to the federal government, which then provides it to schools and food banks. But after Donald Trump took office, the USDA cut those programs suddenly as part of the federal government's effort to streamline spending.
For a lot of other local farmers around here, it was a major source of reliable revenue. For me, it's going to cost me around $150,000 a year.
$150,000.
Yeah, roughly 50% of my revenue.
That's a huge hit.
That's a massive hit.
Not far from Jim's farm, we found other Trump supporters who give the president high marks on tariffs.
How do you feel about the tariffs?
Well, I feel like for years we've been getting ripped off, and why not make it fair? 0-0. And I think Trump was upfront about it. He said we're going to hurt some now.
I think some of the countries they're already starting to come around. It's going to be good. I really believe that.
You have faith in Trump?
Yes, I do.
I think he's doing the right thing. In order for us to get back where we need to be, he needs to get the money somewhere, and they're charging us. Why not charge them?
Back at Jim's farm, though, still plenty of worry. He says raw honey is considered a luxury good, similar to organic vegetables. As prices rise,
I don't know what that's going to do to consumer spending.
Trump paused the majority of the tariffs for 90 days after we'd left Jim's farm. Jim told us by phone, it's flip-flopped so many times you can't take it to the bank. Who knows what it will be next week? Adding, it seems like he's heard the American people.
Well, we don't know.
What does... why are people so stupid?
Stupidity.
Yeah. It's the thing of like, why don't we charge them? You're so stupid. It's not how it works. And it's like, you don't produce anything. So yeah, but it's a good job that you got the year's supply of bottles. But if this carries on next year, where are you getting your bottles from?
And think about, I'm sure he's like, he hasn't got any workers either. He can't employ anyone. Wonder who he's employing. I wonder who, to kind of cut costs. Who was he bringing in to come and manage the bees with him? Get stung up for a little bit of money. Because I trust me, I'm trying to think where to go next because trust me.
Let me just get a couple of comments. Dealing Delon says Franklin Roosevelt served 4 terms. That's why the Constitution was amended. They can change that as they have the Supreme Court. That would be very interesting as well if that did take place. But yes, no, thank you for that insight because I didn't know that somebody had done the 4 terms before.
Yeah.
And also, Trump has always said, even if you do have 2 terms, like 8 years, isn't enough time to do what you want to do. And that would be purposeful because you would be like, we don't want to be under a dictatorship. But I do think that like the old folks that we saw in there, they're so stupid and so under this, like Trump is the second coming. They would be like, we should be under a dictatorship of Trump while you then had millions of people starving. They would be like, that was okay. That it's absolutely crazy.
Yeah. And I think you're right you're right. The Constitution is right. The people are saying it's right that you might not get a chance to do things in 8 years to really affect change. But then it's like, it's unfair that other presidents, and then the way that even Trump, wherever he goes, is Biden and Obama, and can brainwash people into just believing like, yeah, it was so much worse under those 2 and it's so much better after Trump when he's maybe have 12 years, 20 years to prove himself. It's not democracy. But also maybe you do need to relook the Constitution as to how people rule. How do we vote? How do we change the system of voting to look at how do we get behind and support leaders who are doing good and get out a lot quicker? Because Trump could possibly, vote him out now because after his how many months of being in power, he's causing too much trouble. Let's have a re-election. So then it could work both ways. What's the shortest time someone can serve? Maybe after a year they get under review and then you can re-vote. and try somebody else and just see. But I don't know. It's true. There is some truth in not being able to give a chance to let things breathe either, and that's what certain of the Trump supporters are hoping on and banking on. That it's all a bit nuts now, but it's going to work out in the end. And if he gets a chance to right his wrongs along the way, then he's always going to take credit.
Oh, most definitely. But I don't know how. I don't know how he can sort this mess out at this moment in time. I'm not sure how he's going to be able to do that. I think I keep on like wondering like what is their master plan, but somehow it feels so chaotic. I don't even know. I actually do think maybe it is a bunch of stupid people. Like that actually, you know, when you just try and think of all of the different ways, like Kanye's tweets, you try and think like, what is the sub? But maybe it literally is the rantings of a madman. Yeah. Maybe this literally is the craziness of a set of absolute lunatics managed to get into power, and let's see what they do with it.
Yeah. I mean, just because the story that I had up was like, actually, it's been reported that Gen Z workers are steering clear of middle management roles, choosing independence and mental health over climbing the corporate ladder. So there's a lot of, so I guess to tie that into trying to find suitable leaders for the future, and how you work yourself up through the ranks, and then also finding people to work in a B company outside, possibly getting stung, maybe not for much money. We've got a lack of people that want to work in certain in environments. They're not being compensated. There's all these cuts. The economy is mad. You've got crazy leaders. Everyone just wants to work for themselves and mind their own business and make their millions. But what do you think of that? Let me press a play on this. It's an AI kind of generated conversation, but here we go.
Struggling to understand and effectively manage Gen Z employees? You're not alone. Let's dive into the real challenges and discover how to bridge the generational gap for a more productive workplace. Gen Z, born between 1997 and 2012, grew up in a digital-first world. This has shaped their expectations and values. They prioritize work-life balance, purpose-driven work, and continuous learning. According to a Deloitte study, Gen Z values flexibility and opportunities for growth above all else. This differs from previous generations, who may have prioritized job security and traditional career paths. One common communication styles. Gen Z often prefers digital communication, like instant messaging, over traditional methods like phone calls. This can lead to misunderstandings if not addressed proactively. Another challenge is managing expectations around career advancement. Gen Z may seek faster promotions and more frequent feedback than previous generations. A Gallup poll found that Gen Z employees are more likely to leave a job if they don't feel valued or see opportunities for growth. To effectively manage Gen Z, it's crucial to adapt your management style. Offer flexible work arrangements and opportunities for professional development. This aligns with their values and keeps them engaged. Provide regular feedback and recognition. Gen Z thrives on knowing their contributions are valued. A study by PwC found that regular feedback significantly improves Gen Z's job satisfaction and performance. Encourage open communication and collaboration between generations. Create opportunities for mentorship and knowledge sharing. This can help bridge the gap and foster a more inclusive workplace. Implement technology that supports collaboration and communication. Tools like Slack, Microsoft Teams, and project management software can help Gen Z connect with colleagues and stay organized. Review your HR policies and practices to ensure they align.
Why is his hair like that?
Offer competitive benefits, including mental health support and student loan repayment assistance. Invest in training programs that focus on digital literacy and soft skills. This will help Gen Z develop the skills they need to succeed in the modern workplace. Managing Gen Z effectively requires understanding their unique perspectives and adapting your management style. By addressing the challenges and fostering a collaborative environment, you can unlock their potential and create a more innovative and productive workplace. Ready to transform your workplace and empower your Gen Z employees? Subscribe infinitely.
Sure.
Oh my God.
So, So, Gen Z workers say they don't want to become middle managers, according to recruitment firm Robert Walters. 72% would rather follow an individual path to success instead of managing others. 70% are freelancing or planning to freelance, driven by the cost of living pressures, inflation, and AI-related layoff fears. Middle management roles are increasingly seen as high stress, low reward, with burnout widely reported around millennials now stuck in those positions. Companies like Amazon are cutting middle manager roles, while Walmart is doubling down with pay rises and stock bonuses for junior bosses. However, is Gen Z's rejection of traditional career paths reshaping the future of work, or are they just being lily-livered and need to just shut the fuck up and sort themselves out and just get to work and stop being so AI, the perfect workplace, high five? What do you
I mean, everything that was in that little AI doc, that's how I've always viewed work anyway.
Yeah.
So if that's a Gen Z perspective, I don't know, like as a, what do they call my ones? Were Zennials.
Zennials.
A Gen X and a millennial were in that space for my years. The world is changing. I mean, it would be ridiculous for a Gen Zer to still be like thinking of work the same as a Gen X or a boomer. Like the world is very different. And so, yeah, you have to be like, look, we're not going to the library to have to study things. It's like we've got our computers. It's a different way of actually operating in the world as well. But also they are also going to be etched out of the market with the emergence of AI. So there has to be a different way of thinking about how to work. We all have to do that. Because the jobs ain't going to be there. So it's like, as middle managers, you do have that occupation. You should be thinking about how I can be more entrepreneurial. What do I actually really want to do? Because that's the way of the world. We're all going to have that. I can't get away from this. They're going to give us a universal living wage. That's going to happen. So we got to adapt.
Let's look at the comments. I mean, it's funny when you hear it, and I think someone who said it that we're the work with. William Jackdaw says, "I call us the Shire horse generation." In other words, they no longer need the workforce, so they are legitimizing a genuine workforce call. And literally, I hate it, but we were the Shire horse, literally just pulling along and suffering, usually in silence. And I guess it is, well, from a certain generation, you're looking down like you freaking weaklings, get to it. But why should you suffer? Why should you suffer in an office where you're getting racism, sexism, homophobia? You've got some egotistical boss that doesn't give a shit about you, low wage, barely can take time off work, and you get
colleagues you don't like people who, if you had a choice, you would never associate with them in life. But you have to.
Forced to go to the pub and seen as unsocial because you don't want to go to the pub. All of those type of things. However, some of it is a little bit utopian, and like, you can't foster it. It's not a perfect environment, and the world does need to keep spinning in some certain way. So how do you, and it is then, if you, as we were laughing at that, give lots of feedback, high five, you did really well. Because I've got a Gen Zer? I've got a Gen Zer in my household. And sometimes the next story will lead into this. Sometimes it's a bit like, girl, you're just fine. Can you stop? You don't need a hug. You don't need to be told you're doing well. It's okay. But obviously, I give her all the joy. And sometimes I look at him like, you 25-year-old, you spoiled as frick. But it's also maybe then, but she's also a very well-rounded human being. But are we making them too soft, like to expect that work environment is going to be the most perfect space? And it's not. It's not realistic to think that you're going to get someone, especially in a big corporate space, you're not going to get someone who's got the time to every half an hour tell you that you're doing a good job. You're not going to get super loads of weight. It's not realistic. So how do we manage that as well? Because there has to be, because me and you could be entrepreneurs. We could employ some Gen Zs. And we've experienced it in trying to find a social media person. They're big expectations. But yeah,
they don't give a shit about us. They'll do the job when they want to. I mean, we just may not have come across the right set of people, but nobody has given a heck, and they've all been quite young. I don't know, but you can find that in all things that you're doing there. You know, I think it's very hard to find good staff anyway. And I think because school you know, it doesn't really, it's not preparing you
for life,
for a workplace. So I think like lots of people who are just going through education and then they come out and then they have to learn. And sometimes if you're doing entry level jobs, it's like you're the training ground for them and they're a bit shit.
Yeah.
Until they get good. But I think it's going to change. And I guess it's the age old like relationship story of our grandparents would stay together, but they didn't have the means or the license to be able to leave. Like you needed your husband to get a bank account. Now you don't need that. So it's like that. It's like we're wanting them to work under conditions that they don't need to do now. There's so many different ways to make money. They haven't got to be in an office and take bullshit. Yeah. So they can then be like, well, I'm going to go here. I'm going to work for this company. You can track out how your life is going to be. And who's staying in a job for 30 years now?
Honestly, and I think definitely lockdown helped with a lot of people realizing, a lot of managers like, shit, we can't enforce this, because actually we were able to keep the job going, the workforce going, and people can be in their own environments and feel a lot better and not feel like, oh shit, I'm in this shitty place. And the world didn't fall down. I remember I had a boss that was like, if you're not in, dead on 9. These are now, where was she? And I had to leave at 6. And I had my daughter was really young at that time. And it was very, very regimental. And it's like, I'm breaking my neck, running from work, trying to get her, putting stress. And then maybe where I'm not doing the best in my job, because I've got other outside stresses. So really understanding the environment. And it's funny, when she adopted a child, she was like, oh. Didn't realize you had it so bad. Oh, okay. You thought I was just chatting, did you? So there is some of that. Let's get some comments.
Maya says it's so draining to coddle grown people. It definitely is. Destiny Loves says school does not do shit for real life. It absolutely doesn't. Bardigan says, I think I should have realized though. Actually, let me go to his first comment. I think it was a follow on. I almost stayed in an industry that was heavily micromanaged, and I thought absolutely not. What I do now, I'm pretty much my own boss, and I can't lie, I even challenge management sometimes. I think I should have realized though, if there are a lot of illiterate people that are in high positions, hence why Gen Z tend to challenge people a lot.
Listen. 100%. Sorry, let me anecdotally, I had this conversation with my daughter the other day that especially in the familiar sense, we had a situation where someone in the family is being a dickhead, and the younger ones have gathered that person, because the younger ones are like, you don't just get to have uncle, auntie, senior respect status if you're being an absolute punk. And the young person in the family that gathered them didn't give a damn, where me dare to say to an uncle or an auntie, but I even dare to look up, talk back, I'm scared I'm going to get in trouble. These kids don't give a damn. My daughter has gathered a senior, her cousin gathered a senior recently. It's happening. People are no longer accepting that you didn't even pass your degree, you're in there because you're brethren with so-and-so and you're going to tell me what to do. Fuck off, mate.
It's generally how it goes, especially like that upper management. There's so much nepotism. There's who you know. It's that this person went to uni with that one, family ties. It's all in there. And it similarly though, it kind of follows the same way. Like if you think of, for our parents, you're being reared. Sometimes it's like an uncle or an aunt, or your mum or dad has a little bit of money and they are financially supporting you to even come to this country. And so you feel like for your education, there's an obligation to them. Like there was way more influence in your life and you needed elders a lot more. Whereas now it's not so much like that. It's like generally it could be your parents, it could be one or two, but it's not all of your aunties and uncles are going to gather the same respect, because you actually don't need them in that same way for you to be financially stable and have your friends and everything else. You're not so tied to like a compound life. So that goes out of the window. So you can't carry that on. Those respect by proxy levels that we were brought up under, I don't actually even want my kids to have that. There's forms of parenting. I was watching a video on like just like your kids being able to challenge you and you not silence them in the challenging, that you allow them to ask you questions, because you don't want them to go outside and be dominated by somebody because you've really yes person.
Yes.
Like, so although it is challenging for you and you say go and do this, and they're like, why do I have to do that? But that's them being, they have their autonomy within their bodies to be like, what is shaping my reality, and I must question it.
Yeah,
it jars the hell out of me, but it's like, oh, okay, that's kind of good that I take a breath instead of being like, just do as I say. Just through parenting styles, it wasn't conscious, but watching the psychologist go through it, like you want your child to have a little bit of bite about them, so that when they go out there in the world, they have a bit of bite about them. And I don't want yes men. So I was like, okay, yes, that's a good thing. It's hard. When you want them to just
shut up,
do shit.
Yes. I think it's also respecting authority. You can find the balance. Like we spoke about it last live, when I was talking about how me and my daughter navigate, her being a 25-year-old woman and me and her grown-ass mum, how we navigate those rules and regulations. But you want them to understand authority and respect and be polite and stuff like that, but also have their own autonomy in how to make decisions as well. And it's hard because we are raised, children are seen and not heard. Certain generations, that was our upbringing. That was it. You do not question authority. That's the world that we're living in. And also we have people like Trump who are flouting authority. That's another thing that's affecting young people. Like, oh yeah, are you not okay? You're telling me I can't do that. And then the whole leader of the free world is doing whatever he wants and running the world. We're showing people that you could do anything you want and pretty much get away with it. And maybe there'll be a few kind of racial, gender divides in some situations, but even that's kind of, we are starting to see more and more women, LGBTQ, black people get away with certain things that before we could say, oh, if you're black, you can't do that. Do you know what? There's a little bit of power in being black too.
Yes, definitely. It is important. My sister was asking about Shannon Sharpe.
Okay.
But where do you want to go to next?
I did want to go because there was a tie-in with the school. That's a bit more serious.
Okay, go on.
No, it's a school thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go there, or should we go to Shannon?
Yeah. No, tie it in.
All right, cool. So then this was we're talking about children, anxiety, and not having the resources, and also understanding young people and their new kind of reaction to school environment specifically. So there was a thing called SEND in the UK. So support for children with special educational needs and disabilities, SEND, in England is collapsing, with parents and children left struggling against an underfunded and overwhelmed system. So this has got a lot to it. So I'm gonna stop and start along the way. So
hang on, so they've changed SEN. Unless I'm thinking it's something else. Actually, play it. Let me see.
I know it's not. Well, that's what I thought. It's called SEND. So it is. Yeah, it is special educational needs and disabilities. So they've extended SEND to be disability. Yes. So but it's collapsing with parents and children left struggling. So here's an intro to it, and I'm going to go through it.
Okay. Oh, God. Yeah. It's so weird that this was even on the docket. Just the other day, maybe 2 days ago, I was talking to my friend, and her daughter is autistic, and we were talking about housing, and she really wants to move somewhere else, but she's like, I'm not going to leave because Camden Council is really good with their SEN department. I didn't know it was called SEND, so SEND department. It's like they are really looking after her, and I have access to so much more help, where I know even if I was able to move to a house in Brent, which is just the next council along, talking to parents that live there, I would lose most of the benefits that I have, like most of the services that I have access to, I would lose most of them. So what she was saying that she would still have is the state, like the care within school, but she has access to services outside, therapy as well, like help generally when she needs respite, like she has access to more funds to actually have nannies and stuff help her, and that's all through Camden Council.
Wow.
Now, if council to council within London is different, where you cross the road and you don't have access to any of that, yes, Birmingham is going to be even less because they're bankrupt. So then around the country, we're going to have like various degrees of help available where it should just be standardized. They know they did this when they shut down all of the special schools. They knew what they were doing when you were forcing children who don't thrive in an environment with 1,000 other kids, that they have to go to those places where the teachers are overstaffed, understaffed. Like you're not going to have the help.
Yeah, and the fact that, as the woman who was, when they were in the group in Birmingham, in Manchester, in Moss side, that you've got highly skilled, qualified, and it's usually women being forced out of the workplace because traditionally, even society, whether it's culturally or just how society deems it, you're supposed to be at home looking after the kids, and then you've got these qualified minds that are not being allowed to thrive and contribute to this failing economy because they've got to stay home with children who are not able to function in a regulated environment. And you've got all this extra pressure. And I guess someone said it, that suicide is going to go up. Why should a parent be considering suicide because they can't support their child? How are we here in 2025 in one of the richest countries in the world, as was said? And this withdrawal, and I really am pissed off about cunts because I'm a council resident. I hate the decline, the way I've lived in this place for 25 years, and the decline in resources. And I'm not on benefits. I happen to live in a council residence, but I pay full rent. I pay for ground maintenance. I pay for building maintenance. Yet the support is dire, and I don't understand that. People are in high-level jobs in the council. You keep getting bonuses. You keep getting paid, but yet everybody else underneath that, everything is being slowly shut down. All the resources being shut down, but you've got money to pay the bosses. It is insane. And this is why Gen Zs don't want to work, especially working in the workplace. And you can see what's going on. I know so many people who work in the council, like, I just see how they do it. And it's frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
And especially when you come from the community and you happen to work in the council or in those spaces, it's like, I know what they're doing and I'm helpless. So then when people try and do some shenanigans and try and help their people through, then they can lose their job. It's really wild.
Basically, earlier on, somebody did say like the turnover of staff in SEN is very high. And I did do, when I was working in schools, it's probably like about a year. That was the entry level in as a teaching assistant. Generally, you could find work in an SEN department and you were paid a little bit more. It wasn't even a lot more. That I had two really autistic boys that I was looking after, and one of them was actually violent. He shouldn't have been in the school. And the school had about 50 children while I was there that were being looked after by 10 staff. So in a classroom, I had the really autistic boy that I had to sit next to because he may lash out. He can just throw a chair. I'm not a bouncer to look. He wasn't that much smaller than me. Like he was like year 9. But I've got this job. You look after this boy. And then within that, as we're going along, we lost somebody from the department. I have the autistic boy. Then I have 2 Down syndrome kids as well. And we're on a table together. How am I supposed to actually help these kids learn?
Yeah.
Like in effect, I was just there as a nanny after a while.
Yes.
I'm just keeping them occupied enough so that the rest of the kids in the class don't get disturbed. And I don't have to write an incident report. Was generally my day to day. It was doing that. It was just keeping him at bay. So obviously, after maybe I'd done 2 terms in that situation, then they was like, well, you're really good. You could actually start teaching classes. You could teach drama and maths as an unqualified teacher. Apps help. Yes, I'm going to leave this department and go that way. And that was generally the turnover. It was always like that. You'll do 1 or 2 terms and you're like, I can't do this forever. Like, obviously, this is crazy. They shouldn't be in this school. Really, they should be other facilities that are well staffed and then they can thrive there. You can't be in a school where you've got these guys and then you've got the behavior issues as well going on in the class. It's a madhouse.
It's a madhouse. And that's why, as you said, I know people have worked in prison systems, people that are working in the NHS now who are just like, when I hear some of the NHS stories, I'm just like, what the hell? And especially dealing with young people who have got situations, issues, and especially the violence and being expected to deal with them. I have a friend who has an autistic son and he goes to a respite facility as he's getting older. and he's becoming a man, but yeah, he's got heavy autism. She's blessed. She's been blessed to be able to get respite centers, to get quite good support. But it's like one in a few, and she has to fight and advocate. She put her career on hold. She put her life on hold to make sure, and now she's having her time now. And this is like the boy, I think her son is maybe 18, 20 now. So go, sorry.
All right, it just popped up for me. I just saw Little Rock has gifted 5 memberships.
So much. Thank you, Little Rock. Oh, thank you. Yes, it's a wild one. Again, it's like, I understand but also no, I don't understand. I'm going to stop saying that I understand in this way, because you know what? The knock-on effect of removing resources means there's going to be more and more kids that are not feeling, because even that thing of going into school and feeling overwhelmed, and it probably been written of like, we could, even as parents, be like, oh, can you just get up and go to school, please? Stop. But actually, what the first child and the last child described about going in, it being noisy, overwhelming, and then you just like, you're feeling like the walls are closing in. That's a real, it might just take a month out of school, some real proper help, and then she can get phased back in. It just some attention and care, rather than her having to be moved from school, and her mum's a single mother. That was the white woman afterwards that was like, I don't know what to do. She's a single mother trying to figure it out, and now the child's been out of school for how long? And then
you've got bills to pay,
right?
So this is the whole thing, because we're all in the system trap.
Yeah,
it's not everybody that as the black woman was saying, she's a doctor and she has to look after her child now. But if she didn't have a husband now, how is she doing that? Like, if you are the one that is making the money and you have to get out to work, you then apply the pressure on your child. You have to go to school. Like, I can't afford childcare for you to be here. I can't afford tutors. Like, it turns into that vicious cycle. So you also are making your child go to school and not be able to thrive in an environment. It's not for everybody.
And this
like,
is where
the institutions are not for everybody. It's not every child that can cope in a classroom of 30 kids. Facing forward, or even being taught by your peers. That isn't the best way. Things that they do in schools, I'm like, this isn't for everybody. Not everyone can thrive in this environment at all. And that you try and have all different types of people going to these same types of institutions, and you have like a 20% are going to absolutely fail, and you're like, okay, that's fine. It's not okay.
And also, when you have those, and when you do have those other school centers, especially when it comes to SEN, SEND, if that's what it is, and they're stigmatized, seen as the bad kids school, and then it's just like going to reform school or going to a youth prison, because you're just in this space, you're treated like you're bad kids, your behavioral problems are criminalized. So then eventually then you have that pipeline to the prison, as they talk about, because the teachers are despondent, they're like dealing with violence and they don't have the resources to support them. So then they end up hating the kids or treating the kids out of order. And this is where you have bad prison officers, bad care workers, bad teachers who are looking after children or people without the complete abilities in a way that is dodgy. They do criminal stuff, and that ranges from abuse to just neglect. And then you get this kind of system of depravity all around. And then you get human beings who should be shaped and nurtured going on to be dangerous beings in society. It's
basically that is how it goes. Like, definitely, I have quite a few friends who work in PRUs, and it's vocations for them. An absolute vocation. And then you'll have other people that are kind of like, oh, there's a job here, and they'll go in and they never last long. But the pay that they get paid, and I always big them up, it's like they are doing this as a vocation. All of them have various different talents. They could be working on something else, but they truly believe in trying to help young people. But you'll have colleagues in there who are literally, this is a paycheck. I could not care less. I'm just here getting my pay. They're not trying to help these young people, and they're very vulnerable as well. So it really is a space that should be well funded. The pay should be very good for the people that are in there. You should be constantly training them so that they actually are nurturing these people that are in that space, and it not just be a nannying service waiting for them to fuck up their lives so they end up in prison. And that seems to be where we are at this moment in time. Then you have this as a child that you're going through. You truly have a disability. Then you have to try and navigate to be able to get your benefits. And people being like, you're not actually really disabled.
Yes.
This country is a shit show at this moment. It is like,
because remember that
earlier on, somebody said this is the beginnings of fascism.
Yeah.
It is like you don't care about you're old, you're infirm, and you're disabled. And they are constantly, when they want to save money, that's who they're going for.
And William Jackdaw says, I didn't realize until after I left, my job was preparing them for prison. So they'd be easy to look after in prison. That is it. And easier to then just lock them up and say, well, you don't deserve. Well, what did you do when you had the signs and you could have done something at the beginning and you waited and just let them? It's horrible. And we remember
William, earlier on, you said you thought we were American. Do we not sound British?
Are you American? It's William American. I don't know. Maybe
I think William is British, but he said he thought we were American. Like,
Okay, William, are you from an African or Caribbean direct? Because you know they like you sound American. We would sound now. We just sound English. I don't know. Okay, not to labor on poor children, but this is another story that I found that leads into this. Again, migrant children being treated. No, I don't want to invite a guest. I want to present. Not getting the right resources to even thrive as an immigrant child.
Ooh.
I was born in England, and my mom, she's Ecuadorian.
So my parents were born in Nigeria, and then I was born in Thamesmead.
When I was little, I didn't know what an immigrant was. When I got older, my mom explained to me I'm classified as an immigrant.
Imagine.
Growing up under a policy that overshadows every corner of their life. For the last 2 years, we've followed 6 children born in the UK to immigrant parents who have no recourse to public funds.
Yeah. How are you?
It means the families normally have to pay to use the NHS and have no access to any kind of financial safety net from the state, even when facing extreme poverty.
My dad, he works since 6 a.m. and sometimes he comes lately at 10, 11. We need to pay our rent because our rent went up. Sometimes my dad doesn't have a lot of money and just in credit cards.
Go to there.
At least 9% of children at Surrey Square Primary School in London are from families locked out of government support.
A lot of our parents would work in very low wage jobs or maybe 0 hours contracts, so no stability and security within their working lives as well. And the most significant welfare right that people in this situation don't have is the right to social housing.
It's a 1-bedroom flat for 6 people. My dad sleeps in the living room on a chair. And then my brothers, they have to share an old bunk bed. It's starting to break apart. And then there's another bed, which I sleep on with my mum. The mold isn't just in the bedroom, like it just keeps coming back.
Cover your mouth, please.
Sometimes when I go to school, I feel like pain in my throat. The cough, sometimes they make me cry. The room is quite small. There's 2 pump-up beds. Me and my sister sleep on one, and then my mum and dad sleep on one as well. 2 days ago, we found a mice there, and the room has been leaking so much, and there's like bed bugs biting us.
1 in 5 people living under these policies have been made homeless or have experienced housing insecurity.
In the house that I'm living right now, it's going to be demolished. My parents, they don't know where to go. They still didn't find a house for us to live nice and peacefully.
Despite being found unlawful 5 times, the no recourse to public funds policy continues to deny hundreds of thousands of British children a vital lifeline.
We don't think it should be applied to any family that has children because it really does push them over the edge.
They also face the additional financial burden of renewing their visas every 2.5 years, which can cost as much as £5,000 for each family member.
It physically makes me stressed and I can't really sleep. And I can't explain it to someone because I don't want my parents to be more stressed.
The government has set up a child poverty task force, but there's no clear indication that their strategy will improve the lives of those with no recourse to public funds. Something the children tried to get them to consider, protesting outside the Department for Work and Pensions late last year.
Why can't migrant children have the exact same opportunities as other kids their same age? Migrant children feel paralyzed, inhibited, and locked up in a futile space without freedom to roam around like an actual child who is able to flourish as they wait impatiently for a visa.
It's 2 years since we last saw Jess, and like many we have met, she's still trapped in the same situation. Money is extremely tight, despite all the adults working, and they still don't have access to government support. Although her grandma works for the NHS, she's locked out of any free care. It's clear it's beginning to affect Jess.
I think I swear benefits is a thing that everyone's meant to have, or like at least can apply for. So I understand why everyone else can have it, but we can't. I want to be a psychiatrist or like a lawyer, but like just seeing how it's turned out for my family, I don't even know if like I'll be able to do that, or if it can like restrict me as well.
Anne and Joanna's family eventually managed to move out of their one shared room to more suitable housing.
We were feeling scared, worried that like we might get sick or ill because of all the bed bugs and the mice and rats.
When I saw me and my sister's room, I was happy because I had space to have my own bed, and I had space to do gymnastics.
Yes.
No.
After 17 years of living with mould and in cramped conditions, Bazarat's family have finally had their no-recourse status removed. It was a lengthy process with no guarantee of success, but worth the risk. They've now been rehoused.
I think it's very different because it's not mold everywhere. I don't feel like gonna choke, and I can actually walk around my house without feeling trapped, like I'm in a cage. The effects that I had on us mentally is like mentally and physically. Like I feel like our health has deteriorated, and it's not at the level it could have been if we weren't exposed to mold for that long.
The children can apply for British citizenship when they turn 10. They still wouldn't be able to access benefits, but it would offer them some stability for the future.
It cut my aspirations, and like it had me thinking, if I want to be, let's say, a doctor, can I really be this? Because maybe I won't have the degree to do it because I don't have the money or I don't have the citizenship to do it.
Living in uncertainty has clearly had a profound impact.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to press stop, but it ends there, more or less.
Oh my God.
Heartbreaking. I didn't mean to actually break your heart too much, but it's just the kind
it's good that people see this, and for everybody that is watching along with us as well, it's like, you know this, you know it, and you can see it. You can walk past families where you know that they're struggling, but then you're bombarded with so much rhetoric about the immigrants and that they get this, and you know all of the money is going to the immigrants and the asylum seekers, and it's just not true. Like the abject poverty that so many people are living in, who are working, who are paying into taxes, but don't manage to benefit from anything as well. And it's like, these are the people that people want to hate on.
Exactly.
They're literally just here trying to survive. And from the 80s, when they did take that right away, that when you were born here, you were a citizen, there's even more people that are now in poverty, and their kids.
Yeah.
You know, they're born here, their parents are here, like either studying or working, but they're here and not having any help to be in good housing. Housing is so expensive. So even if you are trying to just live your life here and you have children, it's really hard that you don't get any financial help, but you are putting into the system as well. It breaks my heart, man. It just breaks my heart.
Out of everything, the fact that you're allowed to work, contribute to the economy, and then get treated like shit. Imagine working for the NHS where you're caring for people, and these people are going to be like, get that fucking immigrant off me, or get immigrants out. But yeah, this immigrant is caring for you and living in squalor.
Yeah.
Think about it, and then you're going to get mad at them. And these children were like dealing with that. And you know, when you go, and this is again, it leads into why someone could potentially be SEN worthy. Do you know what I mean? Like the child is acting up in school, not wanting to come to school, feeling overwhelmed, maybe truanting, maybe being violent to another child. All these things will be going on, and then you just remove the resource for them to get support, stick them in a PRU or something like that, and they're just demonized or criminalized. What they're going through is that bed bugs, sharing the bed with their sister or their siblings, mum and dad in one room, mold and illness, and then they are getting criminalized and penalized. And we can't even just speak about the wider thing. Why are their home countries so destabilized? Because that they have to leave, that they want to even come to this shitty country.
The level of black mold, I was literally like, oh my God, that she doesn't have a cough was running through my mind, and then she coughed. And I was literally like, of course, because there would be no way that all of those people aren't going to have various different illnesses. And then there's like studies that show that kind of being susceptible to that amount of mold is what actually causes so many different autoimmune diseases as people get older. And it's like it, and so then she'll get her citizenship, and you've exposed her to these toxins, and then eventually they are going to be able to use the NHS, and then the cycle continues in the NHS, having to look after people with illnesses that could have been prevented. That place shouldn't even be livable. Like that should be a landlord. It should be condemned. Like you should be fined. Like you shouldn't be able to even rent out a place in that state.
Exactly, and that's another thing. Slumlords that just get away with it. And I get supply and demand, and I get some, but it's just the system has to be managed, as I keep saying. It's such a cliche. The system is broken. Ceylon Delon says they work for contractors supplying the NHS and schools and government agencies for cleaning contracts and carers for elderly white people whose families are racist and don't care for them. And then William Jackdaw says, I had mold like that in Wales. You could taste it. Oh, imagine that. And the mental health, and the mental health of the parents as well.
Oh my God.
Ranging from low menial jobs when you know you come from maybe qualifications back home to managing young children who are up, down, depressed, sad. That guilt can turn you depressed, can turn you violent, can turn you abusive, and not to make an excuse for certain things, but at the same time, when your mind is not correct, then you lash out in a way that I don't even know.
I mean, what was it? It was 6 people in the one bed, all of the boys sleeping in various bunks. The dad is in the living room, and the girl was sleeping with her mom. Like, oh my God. No, it breaks my heart. And it is like, I don't know how truly human beings can watch something like that and still be like, oh no, but the benefits, that they're taking all of our jobs, and it's just like, they are humans just trying to live. These are kids just wanting to go to school, to have a table to do their homework on, to feel stable, that their parents have a little bit of money in their pocket and they're not going to be turfed out of a yard and be homeless and have nowhere to go. It's truly scary that there are so many people that really can like demonize folks who are in poverty,
and children taking on that,
they don't deserve it.
Exactly, and children taking on that level of stress, knowing so much. You know so much. Why do you know that there's rent problems? Why do you know that mommy and daddy are stressed? Why do you know this? Anyway, all right, we must almost wrap up. I'm going to end on, well, look at the world's in shit, and so there's these people, rich, stinking billionaires, as always, who are finding a new solution. It's called, all right, first of all, let me say it up. So wealthy libertarians and tech entrepreneurs are backing seasteading, the idea of building independent communities on the ocean, free from government control. So German engineer Rudiger Koch spent 120 days living underwater off Panama, setting a world record. Ocean builders backed by Koch and the others are testing floating sea pods as proof of concept homes. Dutch firm Water Studio are also building floating cities, starting in the Maldives. Engineering challenges include legal loopholes, saltwater corrosion, and sustainability. Critics are warning that seasteading could deepen inequality, creating private ocean enclaves for the rich. I think I didn't, I forgot to put the timestamps in this, so we'll just play it and just see where we get to, because seasteading is a thing, guys. Let
them go and live in the sea, and I hope the whales mash them up.
For many people, living next to or on the water is idyllic. However,
here we go. Let's go here.
Cohen and his team at Water Studio are pioneers in floating architecture. Since the turn of the century, they've created hundreds of floating homes and a floating theater, and are currently taking it to the next level with a floating city in the Maldives. Most of the technical challenges of living on the water have been overcome. And now, a growing number of people are looking to create waterborne communities in what has been dubbed seasteading.
International waters are 12 miles out. That's a half-hour ferry ride from your coastal city. So that's shorter than my commute from San Francisco to Silicon Valley. Now, if you really want freedom, you're going to need to go 200 miles out, where no country has any claim. And that's 45% of the Earth's surface out there. And hopefully, seasteads will have their own economies going. It'll be very similar to the American frontier. It'll start with pioneers who are devoted to the idea. Eventually, they're going to need a hardware store. They're going to need babysitters. Eventually, the first baby is going to be born in international waters. And these things will scale up. And pretty soon, you'll step from your land government onto a seastead the same way you step from the shore to a cruise ship. And cruise ships are self-governing floating societies, especially once they go far out to sea. And nobody changes their ideology or their minds. They simply choose something better. And I think seasteads will be like that.
There are no plans to build a community far out into the oceans yet, but fledgling villages are beginning to take shape. In Panama, ocean builders have a proof-of-concept home called Seapod. It comes straight out of science fiction.
It kind of looks unlike anything people have seen before, but the closest thing people do recognize it with is like the Jetsons, the cartoon from the 60s and the 80s. We're kind of like that, but in the cartoon, they were in the clouds, but we are just a few meters over the water, like about 2 to 3 meters over the water. We have this house that is almost the same shape as well, where it's rounded. In some ways, it looks like an egg. It actually does help a lot with the aerodynamics because it's easier for the wind to go around things, and it's not like a big sail compared to a flat wall. It makes it a lot harder to build the structure because building something round with different curve and radius on every house is hard versus just having a straight wall that you put down, which is easy to make.
Constructing in places like Panama reduces the chance of the structure being overcome by high seas.
The fundamental challenge is
You know, there's a set of folks that just have absolutely too much money. And as somebody said, let them go. Like if they want to go to space and create their new society, or they want to go into the ocean and create their new society, do what you want. Just leave us all alone. Really.
No, the thing with this, and also for my final story, actually, I've got one more that ties into this because it's also like
we do need to cover Shannon Sharpe.
Oh, we do.
And latest updates. Yes.
Okay. All right. Let me quickly play this one then, because also they're going to the British government has pledged to bend the sun or something.
You're watching Outsiders and Net Zany, the wacky, crazy world of net zero. Now, this is pretty funny because last year I did an editorial on chemtrails, and I could feel my two co-hosts, my dear friends either side of me, looking at each other going, okay, Rowan's lost the plot this time. He's gone completely bonkers. But as always, I say, what's a conspiracy theory on Outsiders? Just give it a matter of time and it becomes the truth. Here we go. In Britain this week, I couldn't believe it. They have announced, the British government has announced they're spending £50 million on experiments to dim the sun
Excuse me?
using chemical trails in the air
Excuse
to
me?
combat climate change. You
hang
couldn't
on.
make it
What
up,
country?
but they're doing it. Britain.
What country? What country? The sun-soaked land of what? I mean, this is a country.
The Misty Isles
that is
themselves.
desperate. I mean, if there's going to be any sort of intervention like that, you would hope it would be to increase the number of sunlight hours in Britain. I mean, it's a miserable, dark place. Like about what 11 and a half months of the year. So why would you want to dim the sun in the UK? This
to
can't
fight climate
April 1?
change.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. But I mean, also, isn't there just sort of, I just kind of like, you know, you look at this, you look at all the global warming stuff, you know, there's these activists are almost like vampires. They're terrified of the sun, you know? It's very weird.
But it's even worse than that because, of course, Britain has gone full net zero, net zany. They've got solar panels everywhere, all their farmland, solar panels, but they're trying to dim the sun at the same time as relying on solar panels. Do you think there might be any future problems down the track?
I don't think they've thought this through, Rowan. And you know where those solar panels come from?
Yes.
Often from slave labor camps run in China, where the
they're bending the sun to fix climate change. It's stupid. Stupidity. And I don't want to play because we got to go to Shannon Sharpe and I do have to go. But she also goes into racism and she uses the example. They're complaining about reparations for slavery, but yet they want to work with these. She just turns racist unexpectedly, which was random. I want to let me see if I can get to it because she just literally goes racist in a second.
the poor Uyghurs are forced to work in slave labor conditions. So at least there has been some acknowledgement of that, and the those panels they've vowed to stop using them.
The British Labour government has said, "Oh, we're going to not use the Uyghur ones." I mean, how they can tell?
Well, I
mean, China would never cheat.
China would never
say.
Slave labor. So just a little bit of uncomfortableness there for the Min's government, although that all kind of got, you know, swept under the Turkish
It did. We've got people talking about reparations, about slavery that happened hundreds of years ago that has affected nobody living today. But when we've got modern day slavery in practice, people just turn a blind eye.
How does she go from climate change?
When people say things like this, I am like, what universe are we on? Hundreds of years ago, slavery just ended the other day. It affects nobody living today. Oh, really?
Exactly.
Who are you telling?
Exactly.
And then you look at these two white men chomping at the bit, chomping at the bit to jump on that because she does look like she is a person of color.
She doesn't. She's not even fucking. She can't be Caucasian. She can't be fully Caucasian.
No. You saw they were like, we couldn't say this. Let her say it first. And now we're so ready to carry on this rhetoric that, you know, people are after reparations, but there's real slavery happening now. It's the same shit.
Exactly.
Just pay it over and pay us what you owe us.
Exactly. Destiny Love saying, did the channel just change? I'm minding my own business doing my research. And then it's like, oh, racism, just throw it in. People complain about reparation for slavery that happened hundreds of years ago and affects no one. Like, what the fuck? Like, anyway, the whole thing is that the UK is trying to, the UK's REA agents have allocated 56.8 million to fund small outdoor experiments in solar geoengineering. Proposed methods include injecting aerosols into the atmosphere, chemtrails, or brightening clouds to reflect sunlight. Scientists stress real-world testing is crucial, but critics warn of risks to crops, ecosystems, and public health. And public backlash includes conspiracy theories about government weather control and threats to humanity. Like
they've been doing this. So when folks were out here literally looking up to the sky and being like, that is clearly a chemtrail, and folks are like, oh my god, you're so mad, it's just an airplane going by. Now you're just admitting what for decades folks have been saying this is going on, and you were just called a loony conspiracy theorist. Definitely during 2020 when there wasn't a lot of action in the skies, and I'm looking up and seeing lots of chemtrails everywhere, and people and look at how the weather was so different. That was just an experimental phase for them to do whatever they're doing. I mean, dimming the sun, who knows? they're doing shit, and they have been doing shit, and people have been talking about they're doing shit all the time. Yeah, I couldn't find it, but I was watching Joe Rogan, and he was talking about somewhere on the American government site, they've changed all of the information about COVID, and it basically has most of the conspiracy theories that you could lose your channel over is now on there. That it was done in a lab in Wuhan.
Yeah.
Probably has nothing to do with bats.
Yeah.
All of the various different ways that you could treat it is now up on the website now. Like, just, you know, even Joe almost losing. If Spotify was an American company, they would have chucked him off of there time ago when he was talking about all of his different treatments. It's out there. It's like it always starts off, oh, you're a loony. And then give it a few years, they're going to come and tell you, yeah, so this is what we've been trying. The scientists have said.
And where we could have had a nice conversation with these, listening to these guys, then it just goes racist. Like,
they're Australian, so
I know. I really wasn't expecting that. It was just like, yeah, you're on your side. For crying out loud. Anyway, quick update on Shannon Sharpe. I mean, I couldn't find. I only found Stephen A. Smith. Let's see what he says. I'm just did a quick Google. It's just an update.
Okay. It was somebody, they left a question about Shannon Sharpe as well, just like when we spoke about him on the episode, obviously it had just come to light. So it was just the one woman who had filed. But then there's another woman, Michelle, who actually filed in 2010 and had a restraining order. But she does sound like a lunatic. She is out there. And now there's a third person who apparently he paid off as well in the past. So it is looking like there is a case being built that Shannon Sharpe is an absolute sexual deviant, and he may have to pay this 50 million.
Let's go. Let's see what Mr. Stephen A. Smith has to say.
Withdrawn. Jay-Z has now
Oh wait, hold on.
At least until the NFL preseason, sometime later on this summer. As you may recall, a lawsuit was filed against Shannon on Sunday by a woman using the name Jane Doe, or using a Jane Doe pseudonym. The 13-page civil complaint filed in Nevada alleged that Shannon Sharpe committed assault, sexual assault, battery, and sexual battery. Shannon and his attorneys responded with evidence of the relationship being, quote unquote, consensual. And Jane Doe's attorney, Tony Busby, responded by releasing audio of an alleged conversation between his client and Shannon. For those that don't know, Tony Busby is the same attorney that filed the lawsuit against Jay-Z and Diddy, alleging they both sexually assaulted a minor, which has since been withdrawn. Jay-Z has now countersued Busby. Needless to say, the headlines this week took on a life of their own, and as a result, Shannon announced he was stepping away from ESPN. Here's a portion of Shannon's statement that he posted on social media. Quote, "I will be devoting this time to my family and responding and dealing with these false and disruptive allegations set against me. I plan to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason. I sincerely appreciate the overwhelming and ongoing support I have received from my family, fans, friends, and colleagues," end quote. It's been a difficult week from a sports media perspective, certainly as it pertains to First Take. Shannon Sharpe became a friend. When I recruited him to come on board on ESPN's First Take, he came on board.
This feels like it's turning into
no matter the amount of
what
success
people were
that we
doing
enjoyed,
for Russell Brand, advocating for him
for the 12 years.
Let's see.
And so it begins. Shannon Sharpe is announcing that he's stepping away from his duties at ESPN.
Here we go now.
But to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Salamming Tracy Ellis Ross for talking about liking to date younger men, never really saying how much younger. Again, younger could be 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. We talked about that. If you missed it, be sure to check that out. But we talked about that in relation to the Shannon Sharpe of it all, because this young woman that is suing him for $50 million was 19 when they met. Shannon has since released statements and text messages revealing their relationship was consensual, but also they were into different types of role play. We also found out from Lanny Davis, Shannon Sharpe's attorney, that before Lanny was his attorney, there were pre-settlement conversations. And at one particular point, Shannon Sharpe offered this young woman at least $10 million. So this situation where Shannon Sharpe came out and said,
you just stop
that
it
this
there.
is-
I was seeing a thread.
Go on.
There was a thread of a conversation that's like they released this. The lawyer released this information of the 10 million to kind of like paint the picture of, you know, she's just a money grabber. She just wanted more. But then there's also talks of Tony Busby just wanted the case to come out to take down another prominent black man. And obviously with the prominent black man story is always there was a deal on the table that is no longer going to be on the table. And that is an $100 million podcast deal.
Yeah.
I don't know, but the conspiracy theory of it all is like a black man's about to rise. There's a few of these different lawyers that come along. They seem to always be able to find some woman who has been hard done by this guy, and they want it to become public. So even though you're offering them money, they're like, no, and they're going to expose the thing anyway.
I mean, Mr. Busby is very dodge in itself. He's a bit an ambulance chaser. So I think when I was watching something, they were like, listen, anyone who's a victim of this situation, don't get Tony Busby as your lawyer because it already makes you look dodgy. There's that. I don't have words because yes, conspiracy theory all the way along, and there is something about your money worth being out in these streets and everybody knowing what you're worth, and this money thing that kind of, I don't know if it's just black celebrities that do it. We talk about money a lot, and I guess coming from no money and poverty in some instances, and then being on the table of having all these deals around you. I'd like my business deals to be done quietly, so there's a bit of that. And being in the public eye, I don't know, just as a grown man, just stop messing with these young girls anyway. But then also it's not just a young girl thing that people can manipulate you if you aren't a victim, if you are just a scammer. And those of you who think that you can just, again, we're speaking to the Jeffrey Epsteins, the Trumps, allegedly, what's it called, Prince Andrews of the world, who zone in on young women or young boys to manipulate them and get away with doing nasty things to them, thinking that they can buy them off and pay them off and not assuming that they're going to talk and all these things. It's just a dirty world. The whole lot is dirty. And I don't know which way to turn. And I think every case is, I don't think we can lump them all together. Every case is different, but there has a through line of similarity when it comes to men in power, people who are vulnerable or who are younger, and the power play that dynamics that go from both sides. But usually grown people fix up, isn't it?
It is that the hedonistic type of lifestyle comes along with money, and it's not all of them, but I wonder, I am like, okay, maybe there is a through line thread. You know who your mark is going to be, and big old Shannon comes along, and you have details because it seems like everybody around him seems to know he likes young things. I mean, he said it himself, he likes young things. So then you kind of can set that up, innit? Whoever's susceptible. It's like, I wonder, in the same way as you have Lima hooking up with soft white underbelly, like that maybe there is a network of people that's like, that's our next mark. He's heading to having a lot of money. Like you never know how the web of it all works. You're just doing your hedonistic shit. You're dodgy. You're definitely sexually, you've got shit going on. And then there is another entity that is watching you and is like, you're my mark to make money. And destroy you at the same time. I wonder if all of the things are happening at the same time. And we've constantly called Shannon Sharpe a buffoon numerous amounts of times. That you wouldn't think that you are a mark is absolutely ridiculous. Like, you're a literal country bumpkin. They're going to try and take your money if you're not smarter than to be walking around flipping sexing teenagers. But it just makes... It's infuriating. It really does piss me off. It does piss me off. But there was loads of things as I was going, my conspiracy hat went on. It's the 50 million. Watching back Cat Williams, and he says, I've turned down 50 million 5 times. Like, it's, and he says like the big black dick men are gonna get their comeuppance. And it's literally like, we said he was a truth teller, but this seems to be prophetic to me. Like, literally, it's like he's foreshadowing what is going on.
And in fact, he did it on Shannon Sharpe's show. It's like, Shannon, hello, because what do? You can see someone's truth telling all the stuff. It's hyperbole, it's dramatic, people are kicking, but it's like he's so far so good in what he's saying, what Cat Williams has said. You, Mr. Sharpe, and I get you can be on a journey, because to me, I'll be like, let me just start to dial down a notch and just focus on doing one thing and keep it moving. And it's not like the girl was many, many years ago. This girl was just the other day.
Just the other day. They literally linked up. What did you think, in January?
Yeah. So what did you think was going to happen? Why do you think you're exempt from this? What? Yes, and Monique. Why do you think that you're exempt from this takedown and shakedown? And you're letting this. Are you so dumb? And again, maybe it's MK Ultra. Maybe this is the thing that black people are getting too big for their boots. They're getting too successful, too empowered. So now we're going to switch the button. You lot took a pill at a Diddy party 10 years ago, and now it's unleashed MK Ultra, and someone's like, now you're all gonna fall. What the hell? Conspiracy. But come on.
It could be. I was just like, no, not the same amount. He said 50 million in front of him. He's being sued 50 million. He says the Black Big Dick Brigade are gonna lose everything. Who's he sitting opposite tonight? It's just I was watching it back and I couldn't get through the whole 3 hours of it all. So I resorted to clips, and I was like, nah, Cat literally said all of this to your face, and you're sitting opposite him knowing I'm literally having a sordid relationship with a teenager and a white girl. And, and he does the whole white girl thing, like, I'm scared of white women because look how they can take down a Kang in 2 weekends. Like, you've sat there and listened to this man say all of this stuff, and you know where your peen is going, and there wasn't a little bit of you thinking, especially afterwards, like the faller from it, like you wouldn't be like, I should probably knock this one on the head. I would have if I was him. I mean, I would have been like, folks are trying to tell me shit.
But would you? Because why were you so stupid? Is it just like what stopped him from using absolute common sense? Even if you want to get a bit freaky, have some proper NDAs, because there are people out there, black man or whatever, who've done some crazy things, and we will never know because they got their shit. And I don't want
an NDA at least.
I don't
even have an NDA.
Yeah, I don't want people to get away with nasty behavior and dodgy behavior. That's not what I'm saying. But at the very least, if you've got a bit of a freaky fetish, where some people do, and it's consensual. I mean, she's young, and we don't like that. However, she isn't illegal of age. If you do have a penchant, get your shit in order. I don't agree with it. I'm not endorsing it at all. But there's the window where consenting adults like certain things that we might not find great. Get your shit in order.
But there's services.
There's
like
services.
Politicians, they were going to older madams and getting whatever their kinks were service.
Oh, look, Tayu said she refused to sign an NDA allegedly. From when someone's refusing to sign it, why are you refusing? Why
and
are
you're still going ahead and doing shit? That come
Shannon.
On.
Christian J, men consistently let thirst ruin their common sense. And it's that because, to be honest, I don't know how many people are cussing Tracy Ellis Ross, but they're using whataboutery because Tracy didn't say what age she goes for. But also, if Tracy is a grown-ass woman, we can say, yes, you certain age dealing with the teens, allow it, illegal or not. However, if that's her penchant for a high teen and a 20, it is then. Is she abusing them? Is she doing things that could get her ass exposed? Is she just going on dates, having regular sex, and then going about her business? Is she doing that, or is she doing stuff that needs to be in the XXR rated porn category?
I mean, audio of him saying that I'm going to choke the shit out of you the next time I see you, as a big hardback black man, like I'm actually going to go onto that guy's channel and clip that part. He's talking about the black man, a big black mandingo man. Like, come on now.
You're really a little one. You're a big black man. Stop. And all the features, all the things of a black man stereotype, mandingo, and you're coming, and the little teeny slip of a white girl. You didn't see the play here. Like, you know what? I'm making myself an actual criminal case. I don't like the pedestal that white women are put on, that they're these precious things to be untouched. But this is one where I hate the stereotype, but it is what it is, bruh. Allow it. Oh, She asked for a big black baby and black gravy. Are you okay?
And he was like, if we're still together by my birthday, I will put one in you. Like, Shannon, you're so gross.
Has he got kids? Has he got kids?
He's got kids, yes.
Black ones or mixed race kids?
I think his children are black, if anybody knows for sure. But I feel like I remember within him talking to Monique, and
he tried to pretend
he was saying, I do date black women. I'm sure he was like, my children are black as well. I think that was
where are they
the thing.
now? Yeah.
Where he was like, you know, it's not true that I only date white women. I mean, who knows? I think the second Michelle, not the one that is suing him as well, but the one that we caught him shagging on IG Live, I think she is black.
Okay.
I feel like he said that on the nightcap. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Oh, Ceylon Dillon says black, light skin, and describes him as having good hair. He hates darker black women.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he absolutely looks like he would be a colorist. Like,
right. And you know what? For once, have at it. Leave me be. Leave me and my darky sisters be. It's okay. We don't want it.
Nobody wants.
But we don't be terrorizing light-skinned black women or any women. Just don't terrorize women with your foolishness.
His eldest daughter is 32 years old.
Poor child. Poor children. Come
can
to
you
find
imagine?
out and all of this is on the internet.
How embarrassing this is.
He's already embarrassed with the skin tights. And this is not about anything but the skin tights are unflattering, because another man can wear a skin tight and look buff, but you look like you're squeezing and farting and pooping every time you take a step.
But even in the suit, his you know, like, this is nothing but a shakedown speech. Why can't a blazer fit him? Like, why does everything have to be like it's literally made from Lycra? Like, what? Why? Such an ass. Oh
my god, I'm so annoyed, because actually, and the thing is, I was happy for his race, as stupid as he is. Like, I was all right. Like, you've got your lane, you've got your style, you're blowing up, you're speaking to all the best of the best, you're getting great interviews. No matter your interview style is a bit simplistic, but you're doing the thing and people are talking and coming on your show. Here you go fucking it up. Like, what is, I believe a button has been pressed.
Literally, like, he's gotta go. He's gotta go.
Oh shit. Anyway, guys, incredible whole clothes wearing black men. It's true, like busting out everywhere.
It's just, I mean, he's still out here anyway. It's not like it's okay. He would have to have stepped down from ESP. He would have to have done that, and I guess maybe somebody was like, "You announce it so that we don't have to be like you're suspended and all of that jazz." We know that took place, but he's carried on with the nightcap. He still had that going live, and apparently there's still gonna be Club Shay Shays coming out as well. So he's not stopping.
I mean, I guess they're pre-recorded and stuff like that, so he's gonna have a punch in the cart, and keep doing the show. But there's gonna come a point where people were going to walk away. What endorsements? They walk away for the lightest thing until they can fix it. And right now, you're damaging all the brands that are associated with you. There's nothing you can do, and you're going to have to rebuild. This is wild.
Celine Dion is saying he's not coming back from this. I
don't know, because I don't have faith in anything, because the way that men get away with shit, I don't know. But yeah, you would think, and you'd like to think.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, his reputation is shit, I guess. So depending on what else Tony Busby releases, because he does that shit, I wonder if he is. But yeah, I know you've got to go. And next week we can go over the Diddy trial of stuff as well.
Yes,
some more came out about
that. Yeah, guys, you got 3 hours out of us, I think.
I know you did.
You did. We sat it.
But it's because they took us down a rabbit hole.
An unexpected.
I'm grateful for. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
A very good one. Yes. Thank you, please. That was very, very good. I had a great, well, not a great time. It was horrible, but a great time finding out something new. I'm off to watch Sinners for the 4th time. Those of you who haven't seen Sinners, have you seen Sinners? Are you going to see Sinners? I'm off to see it with my friends. I'm paying to see it this time. I want to support. So I'm off to see Sinners. I
will definitely go again. Russell's going again with his siblings. And I think I'm going to do the same with mine as well.
Yay! Yeah,
we're gonna go and see that.
And if you want to
bless you.
Thank you, guys. And if you want to see, thank you, Chet Bay, new subbies, new subscriber. Thank you.
Thank
Welcome,
you.
welcome,
Thank
welcome,
you.
welcome.
Oh, Christian Jane's in the chat as well. Christian Jane comes on when I'm doing Labrish as well. And then we open up the lines. And she is one of the best ones, her and El Michelle, when they come on and join in. So definitely Tuesday, join us for Labrish. Again.
If you want to watch Sinners interviews, go to my platform, The British Blacklist. I spoke to Michael B. Jordan. I spoke to Miles Caton, the young boy who's a lead as a debut role in Sinners. Amazing. Wumi Masaku and Delroy Lindo. So yes, you can head over to my channel and watch that when you're done watching.
Please do. Go and watch those. They're really good interviews. And subscribe to The British Blacklist as well, because you'll get loads of entertainment news all the time as well.
Yeah.
Just so for anybody that is watching, so you know of what our schedule is. News and Nonsense is every Sunday at 12 p.m. We have Labrish, which is reality TV reviews and recaps on a Tuesday at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, all GMT. And then our main show, Your Aunties Could Never podcast, that comes out on a Friday afternoon.
Yep.
Yep. That's
it. All right, guys. Have a blessed Sunday. Speak to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.